across the UK, online and on DAB.
The wild man of late night radio, Iain Lee.
Differently interesting nocturnal emissions from a legend of late night radio. On air and off the leash.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Evening, dear listener. I'm Iain Lee. Who are you?
Catherine Boyle.
The Late Night Alternative, Monday to Friday, 10 o'clock on Talk Radio. I've moved the camera angle because I don't want you to see the scarring on the back of my head. The bandage is off. So let's put that. Well, I'll be darned. Let's put that behind us and let's move on. A very full bladder is what I've got tonight. That's what I've got. I meant to have a wee and I didn't. We were watching Love Island, and basically Love Island is it's the meanest show in the world. It's mean, isn't it? It's so what's happened in Love Island tonight is so they've been on an island for a week, and some of them have fallen in love, and some of them haven't fallen in love. And then the men were sent to another hotel, and then some other ladies were put in there, but then some other men were put in the first hotel, and it's tricky because they'd fallen in love, but then some of them fell deeper in love with the new people and forgot how much they had been in love with the original people. And so they've been off, gallivanting and having shenanigans. And then tonight, they've all been put back together. And before they meet up, the girls have had to say, do you want to stay with the new guy or do you want the old guy to come back? And the guys have been asked, do you want to stay with the new girl or do you want to go back to the old girl? And then they kind of walk out and see what the other one has decided. And it's just mean, isn't it?
It's sad to see some people that are so in love, going the wrong way.
There's a lot of, and they're in love, man. And then there's one girl. Is it Danny Dyer's daughter?
Yeah.
Right. So there's one girl. She gets sent a short video message of the guy that she is in love with. And by pure coincidence, one of the new women in that guy's hotel is an ex-girlfriend of his.
Who he used to love.
He used to love every which way but loose. And so Danny Dyer's daughter, Danny Dyer, that's her name, is terribly upset. People have complained to Ofcom about it. Here's an idea, people. Get a life. You're the same people that complain about me. What was not the last one, the one before? What was the last complaint someone made? But it's something factious and ridiculous.
It wasn't true, was it?
Well, none of it's true. The people complaining to Ofcom about Danny Dyer's daughter, Danny Dyer, seeing a clip of a guy with his ex-girl. Anyway, so she thought that he was going to be in love with his ex-girlfriend again, and so she went absolutely mental. And I was thinking, if I was Danny Dyer's daughter's if I was Danny Dyer's daughter, Danny Dyer's boyfriend on the island, and I saw that footage of Danny Dyer's daughter, Danny Dyer, going mental, I would dump Danny Dyer's daughter, Danny Dyer.
That wasn't Danny Dyer's daughter, Danny Dyer. That's another girl who looks a lot like Danny Dyer's daughter, Danny Dyer, who's hanging round with Danny Dyer's daughter, who's also in love.
We all laughed and applauded Danny Dyer when he called David Cameron a twat on twice on the television and complained about Brexit, until we found out Danny Dyer voted Brexit. So
yeah, but now he's furious about it.
Well, Danny Dyer, you're the twat. In that case, this is what you voted for. I've met Danny once. He was a very, very nice gentleman. So tonight's show. Oh, and we've downloaded the Love Island app.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to play. There's a Love Island game you can play on the app. I think I'm going to have to take my shirt off, and Catherine is going to have to pull her pants up her bum.
Right up.
So we'll be playing that later on. If I'm honest, it's been a hot day. I don't know if you've noticed. I got very little sleep last night, not because of the heat, because of anxiety. And so I'm a bit tired, bit out of it. I've not really got a lot for the show tonight, but we'll see where we go. Let's go to Alan Caddick.
Hiya, Mark.
Hello, Alan.
I've been watching back over Friday's show.
Oh, yeah?
And the amount of views it's had over the weekend is unbelievable.
How many has it had?
thousands.
Were they all you?
No.
Oh.
Because I've been putting the word out on Twitter.
Hang on a minute. How many has it actually had? Let me have a little look. How do I do this? YouTube.com/Iain Lee, guys, if you want to... Well, it's had 420.
That's a good start.
Well, that's not thousands, is it? Put this for the next case. Lying about listening figures.
Also, I want to take you down memory lane, Ian.
Oh, I love memory lane.
Do you remember Andrea from the United States of Liverpool?
No.
She used to call in the other place.
I don't really remember, and that's not in any way.
She was from America.
She was from America. I'm going to say yes, just to shorten this conversation.
She's my girlfriend. That's a shocker.
Yeah, I bet it's a shocker for her as well if she's listening.
Well, we've been video calling the past fortnight.
Right.
And we're very much in love.
Oh.
And you don't need Love Island for that.
No, you don't. But what if she gets sent to another hotel and there are other regular callers there and she falls in love with one of those?
Oh, we'll have to take
How do you know? Because she... I was going to say something mean but true, but I'm going to come back from that. How do you know that she's your girlfriend? Because I was on the phone. I was on the phone to DC Thompson, the publishing house, at the weekend to order the Dandy and the Beano summer specials for my boys, and I had a lovely chat with them. I'm going confused. Can I make you a cup of tea at the same time? I'm on time in seconds. Dad said he's coming down. I'm here, there, and everywhere. Anyway, I'm not going out with the woman from DC Thompson.
I must say, Judge Bowl would need a ruling.
Okay, thanks for calling, Alan. I've really, I don't want to pry any more into your family breakdown. Are your family upset because you're going out with Andrea? I vaguely remember an American lady who lived in Britain. I don't really remember callers. I don't remember, what we did on the show last week, which is why we created the logbook.
Yes, I wonder how that's going.
Well, Eben has the logbook. He posted a picture of the logbook.
Yeah.
And we'll let him have it for a few days, and then we'll send it on to the next person. Let's go to hello, line 1.
G'day, this is Wally Dingo with your Aussie Rules Roundup.
Yes.
In weekend action, it was St Kilda over Melbourne by 2, Essendon over North, Lions over Fremantle, Giants over Hawthorn, Collingwood over the Suns, the Crows over West Coast, and the Bulldogs over the Cats. I'll see you next week. Till then, check out The Clinic, an Aussie film classic on YouTube with Chris Hayward and Mark Little. Just what the doctor ordered. See you next week.
Thank you. I won't be watching that because Mark Little blocked me on Twitter. And I'd met Mark Little played...
Joe Mangle, you big galah.
Okay. And I'd met Mark Little, and we'd got on really well, I thought. And then I checked his Twitter feed about a year ago. He's blocked me. He's gone and blocked me. If you've just tuned in, this is as good as the show gets. Trust me, it's better than the crap I was listening to at 3 o'clock this morning. It wasn't Martin Kellner. It was another radio station. Trying to get to sleep. Awful. But it's only marginally better than that. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. There was a story that I thought was wonderful. It was not a story I'd been following, but I kind of saw it on Twitter earlier on today, and we'll talk about Twitter a bit later on because I'm making progress there. And it was mentioned in our news at 10 o'clock about these kids, this football team that was lost. We'll go to the BBC website. Thailand cave rescue, boys found alive after 9 days. All 12 boys. This is a brilliant story. Right? And there's some really nasty stories we could do tonight, and I just don't fancy. I fancy doing like good stuff, fun, upbeat stuff. All 12 boys and their football coach have been found alive after 9 days missing in caves in Thailand. Imagine that's one of your kids. Because our kids are starting... Well, your kid went to France. Yeah. Our kids are starting to go on more adventurous trips. They were discovered by 2 British divers on a ledge in a cavern after a marathon search operation in the Tam Luang caves in Chiang Rai. The challenge now will be to... So it's not over. The challenge now will be to extract the party safely with rising water and mud impeding access. Rescuers had hoped they would find safety on a ledge in an underground chamber nicknamed Pattaya Beach, but they were found 400 metres away, having moved to higher ground to avoid the rising water. The two British rescuers, believed to be Rick Stanton and John Valenthan. Can we try and get them on the show at some point this week or next week? I'm sure they're going to be very, very busy. But Rick Stanton and John Valenthan were flown into Thailand earlier this week. In a video posted on Facebook by Thai Navy SEAL Special Forces, this is the video. This is the video of them finding them. Let's see. I've not seen this. Let's see how this plays.
Hello, thank you.
How many of you? 13.
Yeah, 13.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Backpack is we go inside.
No, not today. Not today. There's two of us. You have to die. We are coming. It's okay. It's okay. Many people are coming. Many people. We are the first. Many people come.
They're doing that brilliant thing that we do as English people, British people, is we miss out important words in sentences because many people come. I love that. You can't really hear from that what's going on, but there's these kids just sat in the darkness on a ledge. 9 days. How many of you, the rescue asked? 13 comes the reply. The group appear to ask when they will be rescued, and one of the rescuers replies, not today, not today. One of the boys is heard to say, eat, tell them we are all hungry. When the group, whose voices are indistinct, ask what day it is, the divers pause, then one replies, Monday, you've been here 10 days. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. The divers explain they have to leave, but we'll be back. Thank you so much, says one of the huddled group. Where you come from? England. Oh, see you tomorrow. Isn't that great? The boys, oh God, they're aged between 11 and 16. They're babies, and they've been lost in this cave. And, oh God. So who are the boys? The 12 boys are members of the Mupar football team. Their 25-year-old assistant coach is known to have occasionally taken them out on day trips, including a trip to the same cave. The youngest member, Chanin, I'm not even going to try that name, is 11. 13, Duang Pet is the 13 is the team captain and said to be motivator of the group. I believe they won't abandon each other, says the club head coach. They are all safe, but the mission is not completed. Chiang Rai governor told a press conference at the command centre at the cave entrance. Oh, man alive. Isn't that just the greatest story? Do you remember? Well, we can do it. I don't think this is in bad taste at all. Your stories of being trapped underground, if you ever have been, if you've ever been, and that can be in a basement, that can be falling down a drain, that can be caving. Do you remember the Chilean miners? The Chilean miners. And I stayed up and watched the first 6 of them being rescued on Sky News.
And one of them was a player, remember?
His wife and his mistress were there.
Both standing there at the top.
Dirty boy. I bet he was wishing he'd left him down there. They were down there for ages. And then they came out. Do you remember they dug they drilled a hole straight down and they built this sort of like a rocket that would be lowered down this hole, and then they would come out one at a time. Oh, it was incredible. We can do that. You may have absolutely nothing, or you may have loads of... But being trapped, we'll leave it as vague as that. Ever been trapped? If it's underground, overground, Womberling 3, 0344 499 1000. The call is free, probably costs you pennies at the most. You'll speak to Sam. He will take your name and number and give you a call back. Don't forget that, I'm going to sit here and throw this stuff out, but you can call in about absolutely anything you want. It could be a story in the paper. It could be something that happened to you. You can phone up and make silly noises. We really don't care. It's Monday. Everybody is way too hot, man. This heat thing, I'm going to be the one that calls it. Can we stop this now? It is awful. It is awful. And it's a hot, sweaty Monday. No one's really been able to think properly. No one's been able to work properly. No one's been able to do anything properly. So let's just get through tonight. We've got to get through the next 2 hours and 45 minutes. That is it. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with Iain and Kath on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000. Can we celebrate another bit of good news? Remember there was that guy in France, dubbed the Spider-Man, who saw a kiddie dangling from like the third or fourth balcony from a block of flats. It's incredible. If you go and Google it, man, it's incredible. And he just climbed up. He just climbed up and he did it in about 25 seconds. He's a parkour expert, 22-year-old lad, I think he is. And he just climbed up there and rescued this kid, and he was an immigrant. And that day, this is you know, France does a lot of things wrong, but they do things right. That day, they made him a French citizen, and they offered him a job with the fire service. He started in the fire service today. Isn't that incredible? This is from The Independent. A hero dubbed Spider-Man after scaling a Paris apartment block to rescue a child dangling from a fourth-floor balcony has started work with the city's fire brigade. Mamoudou Gassama made headlines around the world by clambering up the front of the building to pull the helpless 4-year-old to safety. And I'm editing the words here, Independent, because you've put some extra words in you don't need. The Malian? Mm-hmm. Malian?
Yes.
Mali?
Yes.
Migrant's extraordinary feat earned him French citizenship and a job as a firefighter, which he began on Sunday. The Paris Fire Brigade tweeted a picture of Mr. Gassama lined up with 23 other new recruits in their uniform. The post said 24 new civic service volunteers, including Mamoudou Gassama, who joined the Paris Fire Brigade this afternoon. Congratulations to all of them. At the time of the rescue, the 22-year-old, kid, isn't he, had been working for cash in hand on building sites in the French capital while living in a hostel room shared with several other men. He had left his hometown in southwestern Mali as a teenager in 2013. So he was like 16, 17. Travelling across the Sahara Desert and through Burkina Faso, Niger and Libya to reach Europe. Following his death-defying feat, Mr. Gassama was invited to meet Emmanuel Macron. The French president made him an honorary citizen. It's good, though, isn't it? It's great. What a lovely story. That, nice things happen in the world sometimes. And there's so many crappy stories in the paper today. I mean, really mean, nasty stories about, kids dying and stuff. Let's focus on the celebrations, shall we? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. I've got my brain is melted today, I think, Catherine.
I'm running on sort of about 40% as well. It's just too warm, isn't
it? It's too warm. And I had a nice-ish day. I couldn't sleep, but then I got up late and went and I had to pick the boys up from school. So I went and bought a picnic hamper and a blanket to put on the floor, and I went and bought a picnic, and after school I picked them up and we went to the playground just over the road from their school, and I laid out the picnic and they played like idiots, and every sort of 10-15 minutes they come rushing over, go round one, picking up a sausage roll or some sushi or a bag of crisps, and then go diving off into the playground again. And it was great. And one of the things that made it great is I didn't have Twitter or Facebook on my phone. This is the thing. I wrote a blog about this, right? And if you want to read it, if you go to iainlee.com and if you look at the blogs, I've updated the website slightly. Everything was going into the news column, and I've created a blog thing, and it's where I write about the mental health and all of that kind of stuff. But so I've written about Twitter, and on Friday I asked Catherine, after reading Matt Haig's book, Notes on a Nervous Planet, and he's coming in soon to talk about it, where it talks about, addiction to the internet and social media and wanting approval from everyone else. And
how it makes you more anxious.
Yeah, how it makes you more anxious. So I said to Catherine, let's try this weekend. Can you block Twitter and Facebook from my phone, and also do it so I can't download any new apps? So I've deleted the apps, and I can't download any new apps without this 4-digit passcode, which I don't know. Catherine knows. And she did it. And I found it really tough, actually. I found it tough this weekend.
What do you mean? You felt...
I felt very twitchy.
Edgy.
Felt very on edge. I felt a little bit ratty. When I saw the kids, I was a little bit ratty. And the only way I could access Twitter was on my laptop. And I didn't take my laptop out with me yesterday or Saturday. So I was out with just my phone. And when I got back home last night and Saturday night, boy, oh boy, I came Twitter and I went on there and I didn't tweet anything, but I was looking at it and refreshing it. And then I would wake up in the night and open my lappy and do it. So there's something going on there. It's definitely an addictive thing. And, but it's been all right. It has, there's a physical reaction to not having, I keep going for my phone, but there's nothing I want to do on my phone. Okay. Unless there's an email there, there's nothing I want to do on my phone. So I've been more present. So, I mean, I wrote this blog, which is, 750 words. So I wrote 1,000 words. Mm-hmm. First morning of not having it. So I'm going to write something. I was able to do this picnic with the kids and just sit there, and I was reading a book. And every time they called me to watch them, I was able to put the book down and look over at them, which, of course, I couldn't do the other day when my son was asking me to watch him climb a wall. I couldn't. I was looking at my phone, arguing with an arsehole, arguing with a bloke who I was considering to be an arsehole, but, he's a human being, struggling as we all are. And I couldn't look at him. And today I was able to look at them. And then when they said, come and play with us, I was able to go, let me tidy this up and I'll be over. And I cleared up the rubbish and I went and played tag with them.
Because you didn't feel like you're constantly in the middle of something.
Yeah. There's none of that. The only thing, and yesterday I was at their house and set up, because my sister used to do this. I'd forgotten this. My sister used to be great at setting up obstacle courses. We play It's a Knockout. And she would set up these really intricate obstacle courses in the back garden when I was a kid. I thought, I'm going to do that with the boys. And I was able to do it. And there was a little bit of arguing because one of them was cheating and not in the fun kind of cheating way. But I did it. And at no point was I going to... And this may... your, dear listener, your interaction with Twitter and social media and Facebook, it may be completely different to mine. It may be worse. It may be less. You may be listening going, what are you talking about? But this is my story, my truth. And I was able to just enjoy that. I was present for the whole experience that I was there. I was present for the whole time I was there. And I went to the cinema yesterday to see Hereditary. Oh, my God. What a bleak film that is. Jeez. Wow, that's dark. And when the film finished, there was no rush for me to turn on my phone and check Twitter and Facebook. It was great. So I came in, so it's going to be for a weekend. It's being extended indefinitely because I think my life can only benefit from not having Twitter and Facebook on my phone. And I've asked you to block 2 more websites, 2 forums, 2 radio forums where I go and, they're funny, but they're mean. One is mean about me. One is mean about a guy who's down on his luck, right? And the forum is Digital Spy, which is mean about me. And Talk Forum, which is mean about
a lot of people.
I don't look at the thing there, but I go there to watch another man's continued sink towards a rock bottom. That's not very spiritual. That's not, and I do it to make me feel better about myself, I guess. I do it because this person has been thoroughly unpleasant to me, so I think it's some kind of justice. But actually, it's none of my business.
And it's not keeping your side of the street clean.
No. And it's funny, and the people there are funny, but it's mean. And I don't want... By going there and reading it, I'm part of the bullying. I'm part of the bullying of this guy. And this guy's been thoroughly obnoxious to me, but there is no reason for me to go there and look at that. And Digital Spy, there's some really, really nice people on there that love the show. It attracts extremes, people that really, really love the show. And thank you, Ollie, and all the people that stick up for the show. And there are people that really, really hate the show. Correction, there are people that really, really hate me and go for me. And it doesn't make me feel better. I only feel worse when I come away from those 2 sites, or feel better for the wrong reasons.
And so, this is what happens. You go on there looking for, secretly you want to go on there and feel better about yourself. Yeah. So you go on Digital Spy and you're hoping they're going to say nice things. And most people might, but then one person says something that isn't, and that's the thing you take away.
I would say it's about 50-50.
Right.
60-40 in my favour.
I don't
on digital
even
spying.
go there.
I don't need to. I don't need to. So those sites are now blocked from my phone. I'm sure I could probably find a workaround if I tried, but I don't want to at the moment. And just knowing. So, I mean, all I was doing this weekend on my phone was emailing people. Oh, and this is the thing. I had to email a couple of people to do a couple of website things for me. One for my website and one for my record label's website. And normally I would write, and I've sent a couple of other emails out. I emailed Hemda today because I gave a few quid towards their podcast. And normally it's just a quick, hi, can you do this for me? Thanks. Boom. And instead I sat down and I wrote emails as though I were writing letters. Hey guy, hey man, I won't give his name. How you doing? How you finding the heat? Conversational. I'm really struggling with it. I'm pissed off with it. It can end now. Conversational. Listen, if you've got time, I'd really like this done to this website. Let me know if there's any problems. So it was a conversational thing. And the people did what I asked them to do, and they wrote back conversational emails instead of this kind of 5-word, can you do this, thing, and that's how a lot of us, I'm only talking for me, that's how a lot of us kind of communicate with emails are like texts now. And so I've been trying to communicate better. I've looked into blocking Twitter and Facebook on my phone. I've got Twitter open now for the show, and I've tweeted that the show is on, and part of me felt like I was betraying myself.
On your phone?
On the computer.
I was going to say.
Sorry, on the computer. And part of me feels like I've betrayed myself. So in the 12-step programs, we talk about complete abstinence. That actually sounds all right. I need to work out how much of a marketing tool it is for the show. Will I lose a significant amount of listeners if I don't tweet stuff, is the thing, because this is a business that is generated by numbers, and I actually feel quite insecure in my job at the moment. And again, that's coming from me. So if you want to read a bit more about why I did it, if you go to iainlee.com and go to blogs, and it's the latest blog. If you want to get Matt Haig's book, Notes on the Nervous Planet, it's not out yet, but you can pre-order it. Big Green Bookshop or Amazon or any of the usual places. And I do seriously think that, I said this the other day, that in 5 years' time we'll have 12-step groups for Twitter addiction and smartphone addiction. And part of me was thinking, well, maybe I start a group for people that want a little bit of freedom from that technology. In there. So my phone now is emails. I've not been getting too many emails. Phone calls, WhatsApp, and texts. Oh, and entering the codes in the sweet steak, which is you get these codes in Twix's wrappers. Entering those for my kids.
Right.
Because my boy's got a Twix. He went, Daddy, I can win £10,000. I went, well, yeah, no, I can win 10. I said, yeah, right, no, I can win. I said, all right, fine. So you get these codes inside the wrapper and you type it in, and it's basically, my eldest son has got one. If someone scores a hat trick on July the 9th, you win £20. And my other son has had two, and they're both, if someone gets a red card, you win a free Twix.
I had this whole conversation with my kids about how, these things, this particular one was in the Beano.
Yeah.
These competitions, well, you can enter them. It's very, very unlikely you're going to win. It's kind of pointless. But tell you what, we'll do it just to prove a point. She won.
Shut the front door.
She won a massive blow-up minion.
Oh, don't tell my boys that, because they enter all the competitions in the Beano. They've sent their pictures in to be featured in Beano or BES or whatever it's called. And there's, oh man.
And that was supposed to be the learning experience where we go, oh, well, never mind. Yeah, next thing, massive box.
Paul, Greg, Mark, George, stay there. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative on Talk Radio.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. Let's go to Paul. Good evening, Paul.
Hello, Iain and Kath. How you doing?
I'm fine. Kath has nipped out to get her phone because we're going to play the Love Island phone app in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Firstly, just wanted to say just how great it's sounding, how relaxed you're sounding, and that your idea is really working by the look of things. And it's just really lovely to sort of see. And I think we can all kind of learn something from what you're doing. The experiment seems to be interesting. So I'm sort of watching in on what you're doing and thinking, just something.
Go on.
From my own experience, really, sort of that helped me was I was really quite a sarcastic person, then I got really depressed. I think I've spoken about it with you before.
Yeah.
And
Kath's back, by the way, Paul. So she is listening. So if there's anything you don't want to say in front of Kath, then I'll ask her to leave again.
But I just really, I was kind of quite a sarcastic person. I try not to be.
Were you?
Really, really difficult to sort of do. But I'm finding it really kind of, as time's gone by, I try and find, you've got the monkeys things, you've got the things you love, and I post things like that. I post things that make me happy, and I try not to get into debates with people. I posted when the Chuck Berry album came out, because I was a big Chuck Berry fan.
Yeah.
And I was really chuffed. I was really pleased. And I got this really arsey guy on there. Oh, it's no good, blah, blah, blah. So I just said, look, if that's your opinion, that's fine. But I kind of blocked him.
Yeah.
And I think it's something you get to a point where you think, that's your opinion, but if he was in my living room, he's not my friend, I don't know this person, I don't need you around me, and frankly, you're bringing me down. The only thing I would say that gets me down a little bit at times is my brother's a writer.
Yeah.
So someone starts having a go at my brother. I find that really tortuous, or even yourself, or people like that.
People have a pop at your brother online.
Well, yeah, because he's like a politics writer and things.
Right.
So if he kind of, if somebody says something like that, that still kind of upsets me a little bit.
Yeah.
Or even like yourself, when you're thinking, flipping heck, you post something quite, kind of fun. I enjoy the show. I watch it a lot, and I just think, oh, goodness sake, sort of give the guy a break, because sometimes it just sort of seems to snowball.
It's funny. I know my sister gets very upset when people post mean stuff about me, and it is that thing for siblings. If they have their heads slightly above the parapet, like your brother does, I mean, particularly writing about politics, then people feel free to say anything. I've written blogs about mental health, and I've had people tweet, well, why don't you go and kill yourself?
I know, yeah.
Why would you? I mean, and that doesn't bother me. Luckily enough, that doesn't bother me.
But that sort of stuff does not come from a happy person, does it? So...
Why would you write that?
No. It just seems to me that, like listening to what you're saying in the experiment you've done with Twitter this weekend, thing you've done with, Facebook. It's just, I think there's something that there's people with your profile, people like yourself. I think there's something that everybody can learn from that, and I like these experiments because it's kind of like, actually, maybe I could do that, because I've done that with the kids. I mean, I certainly remember when I was more sarcastic, and I remember being at work, and I was a CBT therapist, and I remember arguing with someone over some nebulous point about something or other, and just barking at my kids, saying, "Just wait a minute,"
it's that.
And it's just like, and now really what I do is, if I post anything, I'll post things that make me happy, comedy, funny things, things that amuse me, and I still have an opinion on things.
I tried that.
I'll sit down and have an opinion with someone who's willing to talk to me, as opposed to someone sort of randomly attacking or heckling.
I tried for about 3 days to create an echo chamber of love and peace and art, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, and I think I need to completely abstain from Twitter. Like today, I was in the park, was lying on this blanket. We had lots of nice food around us, and my youngest came running over. He needs a haircut. He's got a big, thick mop of hair, and he was just sat there, and he was eating some blueberries, and I just stared at his face. I just stared at his face and thought, man, I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember this moment forever. And yet, if you've got kids, that your life is full of those moments, but I'm too busy looking down at my phone.
Yeah. And like you say, especially if it's something distracting that's completely negative.
Yeah.
And it's so easily done, I mean, I think, like I said, the last time that I did anything like that was kind of, like I said, tried very, very hard not to even be sarcastic these days. I think the children help me, because children are younger, they don't have that abstract sense of thought. So, any child under 10 isn't going to understand sarcasm anyway. So I kind of apply the rule of thumb that I use with the children to adult conversations.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, just straight to the point, and kind of, I don't need that kind of, that hit anymore. Especially, like I say, with hecklers, because these people, they're just going to be perpetually negative anyway.
Yeah.
Because like I think Kath said, it's coming from a place that perhaps they don't understand themselves well enough
to
understand why they're actually sort of behaving the way they are. And frankly, you haven't got the time to sort of input why that might be or what place that's coming from.
But you know what? Sometimes you don't have to take very long at all. Whenever someone writes something nasty to me, I have a quick look at their feed, and usually they're barking at everyone.
Yeah.
They're like a dog behind a gate.
Hey, Paul, listen, man, thank you for that. I appreciate your call a lot. Thank you. 0344 499 1000. You were saying when I was off, and you told me, you said it on air, but you told me about your eldest with Roblox.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Online.
Banned.
And because my boys play Roblox, they were playing it today, but they play it on the Xbox. Can someone can tell me on this, right? And they have assured me, and my eldest son is great, my 8-year-old, 8.5, because I said to him, just to check, you can't talk to anyone on this. And he looked at me and he went, oh, no. And he knew why I was worried, because they've done it at school. They've done this thing about talking to people online. He said, no, honestly, no one can talk to us. I said, right, can people type to you on this? He said, no, there's no way anyone can communicate. They can't talk and they can't type. And I think that is the case with Xbox. And also I think it's because I've really tightened the settings on Xbox, so they can only talk to their online friends, which is basically their cousin. That's the only online friend they've got. But your daughter...
We've crushed ours right down.
Yeah.
You can virtually do nothing on that laptop, really,
Good.
now. Frightened me to death. I had a conversation about it this morning, actually.
Yeah.
Because, things have settled
With
down
her?
a bit, yeah. And we were on our own, and I said, listen, I've been thinking a lot about that weird bloke that you were talking to on Roblox. Had you spoken to him before? It just seems very odd. And she said, no. She said, and then she talked me through what happened. Terrifying. She said, so I'm walking. She said, I was going around on my skateboard in Roblox, and all of a sudden this guy's there, and he said, come to my house.
So this is like a virtual world online where people build games that you can go and play these games.
And it's really primitive. That it looks like Minecraft.
Yeah,
so
Lego.
It's not fancy at all. And so the characters are really kind of naively drawn and stuff. So it doesn't look like, it's not one of these sort of sexy games.
Yeah.
You wouldn't. But so she said that she was going around on her skateboard. This bloke comes up to her, says, "Come to my house, or I'll report you." She said, I tried to get away from him and ignored him. Then he said, come to my house or I'll find out your details. She said, at which point I went to my house. She said, but I didn't lock the door and he got in, and that's where you saw what happened.
I worry so much about my kids and what they will have to deal with in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I was going to say in the future, but actually for the 8-year-old, it's 2, 3, 4 years away. If that were, yeah, so it's there now actually. But yeah, in terms of Twitter and things like that, because they all want to get on Twitter. They all, they're constantly asking, how many followers have you got on YouTube? And I said, I've got 5,000. Wow, you got 5,000. That's great. Are you a YouTuber? All of this stuff. And listen, that is brilliant. If they want to become YouTubers, there's a thing about pro gamers I'll talk about in a bit, and the luxury lifestyle they lead. If they being a YouTuber is a proper living, proper job these days.
For a very, very chosen few.
But in the same way that I wanted to be an actor, kind of am. I've gone off on a slight tangent on the career I wanted as an 8-year-old, but I always wanted to be an actor and make movies and be in TV shows. Okay, I'm doing a slightly bastardised version of that, a radio host, and I do bits of TV, but I can see the parallels. I kind of had that target and just went off a bit. But I've got to lead by example, and if I'm constantly on Twitter, then the example is Daddy's on Twitter, so Twitter must be great. It's like smoking. It's like seeing your dad smoke. Dad smokes, so it's going to be all right. Whereas if I'm able to say, do you know what, guys, when we have we've not had a proper conversation about Twitter because they're a bit off it, but when we get there later on, and I say, look, here's the reasons why I don't like Twitter and why I think it's bad. If they start a Twitter account, I think you've got to be 13. So let's say in 5 years' time, they start a Twitter account, right, 6 years' time. And they tweet, it gets out, they're my son.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, they're going to get so much abuse. They'll get lots of the lovely people that we have listening to the show going, oh, your dad's great, or I really like what your dad did and all of that. It's a shame he's dead.
God.
But 5 years. But there'll be loads of people going, your dad's a dick and you're a dick.
Yeah.
That will
and
bully
people
them
who are jealous of them because you assume that they're millionaires.
And my boys are constantly saying, can you get us on TV? And I say, well, actually, do you know what? Yeah, I can, but I've decided not to until you are old enough
To know what that
To
means.
know exactly what it means and to sign up for the deal. Because the deal is... That's why I never mention their names. They come in on this show occasionally, never mention their names, never talk specifically about, things. I talk vaguely about them and things they've said. And my youngest keeps saying, can you get me on TV? I say, yeah, I can. But there is a reason why I'm not. And this is the reason why. And when you are significantly older, if you still want to get on TV, God damn it, I will do everything I can to help you. I will do everything I can. I'll introduce you to people. I'll do everything I can. And right now it would be easy for me to phone up Good Morning Britain saying, can I bring my kids on?
Because kids are great on TV.
Oh,
and they love
it.
them.
And my boys would be hilarious. I could do it. It would not be a loose women. Can I bring my kids on? Easy. But I've chosen not to because I don't want to play that game. That's why when I came out of the jungle and found the press had been round my house when my kids were in, and there are laws now about, because I don't publish pictures of the kids, the press can't publish pictures of my kids. There's
because
a law,
you've not opened the door.
Yeah.
It's not like the Beckhams who from the day dot, you've known what their kids look like.
I've been offered all that okay and hello and all of that stuff, pictures of the kids and they're not. They've not signed up for it.
It's not the kids' decision, no.
My wife only partially signed up for this, and even then was probably slightly naive to exactly as what it would entail. But my kids never signed up for it. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, we've got Keith, we've got Greg, Mark, Mary, and George. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up all night generation. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
We've got loads of calls. Let's get through some of these. Let's go to Greg. Good evening, Greg.
Oh, hello, Ian.
Hello, Greg.
Hello, good to see your bandages are off.
The bandages are off. I've got the camera at a different angle because I'm a bit embarrassed by the scarring. I've been wearing this cap, but my head's... It's tender. It's not sore. It's a little bit tender. Kath can
I think it's healing really well. You can barely see it.
Yeah, the hair's growing back. My hair, one of the good things is, Greg, my hair grows at a rate. You can almost see you can hear my hair grow. That's how fast it is.
I think it grows faster in the summertime, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, I put a little bit of Baby Bio on there. Baby Bio. Can you still get Baby Bio?
Yeah, I think you can.
Wow. Anyway, Gregory, what have you got for us?
Concerning an email I sent you yesterday, I don't want to go into detail. Do you remember?
Oh, Greg, this is Greg Probert. Yes. He's been in touch with me. So Greg is a great Bruce Lee fan. There's a Bruce Lee book that came out at the beginning of June, I think it was, and I've got it, but it's packed up in a box now. But the guy that wrote it is it Matthew somebody?
It's Matthew Polly, yeah.
Matthew Polly, that was it. He's going to hopefully be coming on the show at some point. He got in touch, Greg. Thank you, brother.
Yes, I know. I sort of communicated with him on the forum, and he said that you'd gone quiet. And
oh well, we both thought the other one had gone quiet. That means that an email got lost in the ether. Oh, good. No, he sent me an email, and I'll email him tomorrow, and we'll sort it out.
Yeah, I just said to him, email him back. I think Ian's still enthusiastic about the interview. So
of course I am. Of course I am. No, we'll get him on. I know he's in the country for a few days. Hopefully we can get him in the studio. If not, we will get him on the phone, or I might meet him up for a coffee or something like that. We'll see.
Excellent.
We'll do it. Thank you, Greg.
That's okay.
Greg, you're not looking for a job as a radio producer, are you?
No, not really. No.
Because I think there may be a spot coming up here soon.
Why?
Because he's good at producing. You don't even know what day the guests are coming on!
Well, I'll tell you a funny story.
Please do, Greg, because again, my producer can't do that!
No, on Facebook, I think you interviewed Michael Worth about 2 years ago.
Yes, I did interview Michael Worth, yes. Great friend of the show.
I shared that on Facebook, your interview with him, and Bay Logan saw it, and he said, I want to be on your radio station.
Oh, you sorted out the interview with Bay, didn't you?
Yeah, he thought I was you. And I said, no, that's Iain Lee. If you want me to sort of get you in contact with him, and let me know.
Bay promised me something from his Bruce Lee vault, and I never got it. What a...
okay.
I know if I'd have sent an email, you'd have got it, mate.
All right, Kath, like that video you got Uri Geller to make for the wrong son. Thanks very much indeed.
You went on about the son's name.
Yeah, I told you that it was the eldest son I've been watching the video of Uri Geller, but could he make a video for both my sons? And then the video arrived, Greg, and it was for my youngest son, who wasn't that bothered by Uri Geller, and my eldest son just sat there with a tear in his eye. So not only did he bend a spoon, he upset a child.
Oh dear.
Yes. So Greg, just please consider that request for producer role.
Okay.
Thank you, mate.
Go.
You want one more thing? Go on.
I was going to say I was going to change the subject.
Subject
You normally talk. I know. I thought I better not talk just about Bruce Lee all the time, but
Yes.
you're into time travel films, aren't you?
I am, and I am into time travel films. Yeah, Catherine, shut up, man. This is gold.
I don't think I've ever heard you mention a film called Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeves and...
Oh, because it's rubbish, that's why.
James Seymour.
It's a rubbish romantic time travel film. No thanks.
Okay. One last thing.
Here we go, yeah.
You may hate me for bringing this up, though.
Okay.
Joe Swash and you...
Thanks very much for calling. 03444991000. I might be doing a time travel podcast with a guy who emailed me, a guy called Elton, who emailed me and said, listen, long shot, you don't ask, you don't get. Do you fancy doing a podcast about time travel films? And I went, tell me some more. So we might just do a podcast together with a guy that emailed me randomly.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Well, if it stops you talking about it on here, I'm all for it.
Such a dick.
Flipping heck, it's boring.
Let's go to Sharon Burke. Good evening, Sharon Burke.
Hello.
Hello, Sharon Burke. Why do we know your surname?
Well, it's Tozza UK.
It's what?
It's Tozza UK.
Tozza UK?
You know, Flat Earth Girl.
I'm going to need a little bit more info.
The Flat Earth. We spoke about the Flat Earth, and I was
I thought you were saying the slapper. It's the Flat Earth lady.
Oh,
and your sweary friend isn't there, is he?
No, my sweary friend's not here this evening.
Good, Sharon. What's the latest in the Flat Earth world?
Well, I've been told that us Flat Earthers are very crazy, so that's really shocked me, really.
Well, why are you shocked that people think that flat earthers are nuts?
Well, I did a little bit of a Google research on it, and it came up that us flat earthers are very, very crazy, and that's like really shocking, really.
Can I tell you why people think flat earthers are crazy?
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Good.
Because the Earth is round.
Yeah, but
no, yeah, but there's no yeah, but.
Even you.
It's round.
Ask people why that basically can anybody say that the Earth
is round?
Is spherical?
Yes,
and also
yes, it's
the
round.
moon.
Yeah, they're round. Yep, they are round. They are definitely round.
Can you prove it?
Yes, I can.
Go on then.
Right. Well, we didn't we have this conversation 6 months ago?
She wouldn't remember.
I think it was about 12 months ago.
Right, the onus on you is to prove that the Earth is flat. We all know the Earth is round.
Yeah, but can you prove the Earth is round?
Yes, I can. When you look at a ship coming over the horizon, you don't see a tiny ship. You see the top of the ship, then you see a bit more of the ship, then you see a bit more. You don't just see a tiny ship getting bigger. There you go, I've proven it.
No, we had that conversation last time, didn't we?
Yes.
And I said to you that the only reason that we don't see the horizon with the Earth looking like it's spherical is because we've got a imagery from a fisheye lens from binoculars, basically.
Right,
and
so binoculars are part of the conspiracy?
Yes. I've even got in front of me now a mirror that is fisheye lens, basically.
Have you? And how does that prove the Earth is flat?
It doesn't, but it doesn't prove the Earth is spherical either.
I didn't say a fisheye lens would prove the Earth is spherical.
But then, if you go on a plane and you look through binoculars, telescope, everything is spherical because of the lens that we look through.
I've never looked through it. I've never taken a telescope as part of my hand luggage.
But you know what, right?
Yes.
I don't know why people think that us flat earthers are round the bend because we take.
But you can't be round the bend. Surely you can be straight down the line.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. If we're not round the bend, we're straight down the line because we even take spirit levels onto aircraft.
Okay, well that's not nuts, is it? But of course, Roger reminds me. Thank you, Roger. That the flat Earth theory is, I hope that was your mouth. The flat Earth theory is really catching on, and you've got supporters. You've got supporters all around the globe, haven't you?
I got that a little bit late because I'm watching you a little bit delayed.
I know. I'm going to say it one more time, just so you get the full benefit of it. You've got supporters all around the globe, haven't you?
Yes.
Thanks very much for calling, Sharon. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Oh, man! Keith and Mark and Mary and George, you've been waiting for ages. I apologise. We went from having no calls to suddenly having lots and lots of calls, and I like it when it's like that. And thank you, Roger, for reminding me of that wonderful gag that pops up from time to time. Why do they think we're crazy? Because you're talking rubbish. I think that might be it.
I think it's completely normal to take a spirit level on a plane.
Why would you be allowed to take a spirit?
And also, what does it prove? When you're going up in a plane, and then you're going along, and then you're going down again. I know this, and I've not taken a spirit level on. Or maybe I'm the fool.
You're listening to the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
He has made a covenant with the night, and with the darkness he is in agreement.
Uncut, after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Ah, man, nights like this. I love it when it's like this. We've got so many calls. I will get to all of you. I'll try. I'm not going to give out the number because we've got quite a few calls. But I like nights like this when I'm feeling, out of sorts because of the weather and not sleeping and the anxiety of buying a house, dear God. Dear God. And then the show kind of takes a life of its own quickly. So buying this house and supposed to be exchanging contracts on the 20th and completing on the 27th. That means you get the keys on the 27th of this month. And I spoke to my solicitor today to confirm those dates, and my sister said, well, it's the first we've heard of that, and there's still plenty to do. That's on top of me being told I have to pay double stamp duty because of... anyway, fun times. Let's go. Let's try it. Let's try it, Mary. What have you got for us?
Hello.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Keith. Good evening, Keith.
Hello, you two.
Kath has gone off on an errand.
That's all right. It's nice to speak to you, Ian, again.
It must be.
Oh, just on that last point, I've been there with the, moving now, post-divorce. They reckon that, all what you just highlighted there, it's one of the top 5 stresses amongst, bereavement.
Can I ask you a personal question? If it's too personal, tell me to jog on. Because I haven't spoken to many divorced men.
Yes, okay.
About this. Just because I don't know any in my life, right?
Yeah, yes, it's okay.
So you did you buy a house after you divorced?
Oh, well, what happened was that I have my daughter now is 24 and she was only like 4 or 5 then. And I was very lucky to come across a really nice little terraced house in a lovely spot. And that was a good fortune. But the anxiety of, because I was living in, we had the loft converted in the old house, and putting the bid in and all the rigmarole that went with it, it was horrendous. Just the anxiety levels on top of everything else. I say they put it in the top 5 amongst.
It's so stressful, and when I've bought a house before, it's been with a girlfriend or with my wife, and
well, you're on your own.
Well, and when you're with someone else, when you wake up in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning,
you can say, have we done this? Have we done that?
You've got it exactly. Have we done this? Have we got the maths right? Is this?
Have we got the thing right? Did it say they were signing on contracts? And what if there's a chain? And are they in a chain? And you've been. Oh, God.
But when you're on your own, you wake up in the middle of the night, there's no one to talk to.
You're on your own, you got a child to look after, and amidst all the, I was only a mile away from her at that time in the old marital home, and,
But anyway, you got through it, you survived it, you came out the other side.
Well, Emma, she stays with me whenever we're good mates.
Good. Okay, this is what I need to hear because it worries me.
You know what I'm saying? We've gone through the gears.
Yeah, good.
Music-wise, and she cycles and runs with me, and.
Oh, blimey, I don't want to do physical activity with
her. No, but what I'm saying is, she's my friend. Well, she stays with me, and. But when I rung up tonight, just to
yes.
I'm Cineworld Keith.
Oh, it's spoiler alert.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. But I'll come on to that. This time I dropped into your show, and it tickled me last week when you were just on about your foreskin.
My foreskin tickled you, Keith?
No. And what I was thinking, like, I was waiting to get on, was that us guys, like you say, about, like, support networks, like women have, and we don't talk, do it, about problems with, like, you know, the sort of, like, crown jewels and issues down there, whether or not it's your foreskin or testicular issues or prostate. We don't do it. You can't go into a pub like, you know, your mates, I'll go for a pint and start saying...
The bell end.
But all that. So, what I'm sharing with you on that one, and I'll share just the tips on the film. I've learned my lesson from you.
What a choice of words, Keith. I'll just share the tips with you.
The tip, yeah, I'm with you on the euphemism there. So, anyway, what I'm sharing with you is this. Again, it's good, this. It's man-to-man talk. I was circumcised like when I was 23, going into 24. Yeah. I was doing my psychiatric nurse training.
Is that part of the training? Got to cut that off.
Oh right, yeah.
No, is that what they do?
I'm with you. Yes. And it was just like a tight foreskin. You know, I had a couple of small infections and blah blah blah. And at that time, if you were in the system, we got it done. And anyway, what I'm trying to share with you, to moving on fast, quickly, is that, and this is just as research would suggest, that a circumcised penis, there's lots of research in Africa, various villages where there's, you know, circumcision is just par for the course, and there is an artifact. It's called keratin, an enzyme that is more prevalent in men with circumcised crown jewels, and in the transmission of HIV, which was done in the late 80s, early 90s. Check it out, and your researchers can do, and while we're talking. But not to say either or, but, you know, being a sort of like late person to have it done, it was all quite, you know. And
here's the question that everyone wants to know, Keith. Is sex better for you, the person circumcised, before the circumcision or after? Where do you get the most pleasure?
Practice and tell you the truth, with all the stresses I've been on. But I would say it gives you a bit more girth.
Catherine, I believe you wanted to comment on.
No, it does. I hope that's not. I thought
so you're saying the foreskin contracts the girth?
I think when how can I say, before and after, it's like having a new hairdo, isn't it? You know, like when you go for something new, totally different. You live with someone for 23 years, and then it's like a totally different entity. I suppose all I can say is that it gives it a different sort of cosmetic look.
Okay, but does it feel the same?
Well, what you imagine is, before that, you think, because it's quite sensitive to the touch, isn't it? Like, you know, you pull your foreskin back, and what happens is, post-circumcision, I'm not sure you call it the BK, you know, it's not sensitive at all. There's no moisture there, it's just like the back of your hand. So, I suppose it's less sensitive, and if you got...
So having a circumcision makes it, the BK...
Bell end. And sorry, I was getting my words mixed up.
The BE.
You called it. I don't know what the actual
bell end. I think is the Latin term for it. It's less sensitive after the circumcision. You're saying?
No, it's like what happens is then it becomes just like in the back of your hand, and if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I'm not getting mine done then.
And then you get it done.
I'm not getting it done.
Oh, you're not?
No, not getting it done.
Oh, honestly, it's a piece of cake.
Well, if it was as easy as slicing a piece of cake, then get
it sorted.
I'm not getting my foreskin cut off just because of a bloke in Wigan.
Do you want me to?
Do it for me? No.
Do you want me to
send you a picture? No.
No, me films. Do you want me to just give you the tips?
Yes, please.
The tip of the tips, so to speak.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. I saw Hereditary. Gabriel Byrne, if you're into the sort of like...
I saw that at the weekend, and I spent half of the film going, what is that fella's name? And I worked out his last name was Byrne, And then about three-quarters of the way through, I said it out loud. I was on my one. Gabriel Byrne.
Yeah. Now, Mark Kermode absolutely trashed it.
Well, he's an idiot then. It's a great film.
Isn't it? And if you watch Mark Kermode, honestly...
I like Mark Kermode a lot, but he's wrong on that. Hereditary's a great film.
Sometimes it's just like he goes this sociological interpretation compared it to this or that genre.
I bet he compared it to The Exorcist.
Well, he did, and he's on with the Radio 2 guy, isn't he? And I thought, hang on, you got to watch it yourself. And I thought, well, there's enough there to spook you, and it was quite we're not spoiling, are we?
Well, not so far, but I'm hovering over the dump button.
But what I'm saying is, like, I watch Kermode, and what I do, you watch trailers, and I looked at the reviews, and I thought, I'll make my own mind up, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. The other one I've not seen yet, but I've seen the trailer. I've got to see it. Is Leave No Trace. I don't know if you.
Is that the one about the vicar?
No, this is this. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
It's about a relationship between father and daughter.
Oh, and they live in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up for a bit of that.
So right, and I won't give it any more out because there's obviously a context to why.
Yeah. Look, he's a Vietnam vet.
Oh, well, you said it.
I only know that because I read that's in the trailer.
Yeah, well, if you had said that, you'd have said I was spoiling it for you.
I wouldn't. If you'd have told me what happens once they come out of the woods...
I don't know. I've only seen the trailer, but I think the reviews from Cal...
I love talking to you, Keith. I know we got off to a rocky start, but I enjoy it.
The reviews are really good, and I think... It looks it looks intense, but it looks a cracker.
All right. Hey, listen, Keith, it's nice to talk to you, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for telling me about your foreskin and your favourite films. 0344 499 1000. Let's go to Mark in Bletchley Towers.
Hello, Ian. Hello, Catherine.
Hello, Mark.
Hello, Mark.
How the hell can I follow that call?
What's your foreskin? No, don't tell me. Don't.
Let's not go there.
No.
Anyway, I forgot what I was ringing about now. I've been taking a break from social media and stuff. I think you're going in the right direction. Just take a step back. I've watched both of you on Twitter and the Facebook and for interacting basically point of view sort of thing. But I've noticed sometimes Ian, you really get angry with people, and I think I've tweeted you before, Ian. Just go away, put it away. Turn it off and come back another day type thing. Because I do the same thing. Yeah. I got a unique filtering system that I can filter out all the silly troll stuff. Yes. And I only go for the local radio and interaction like with yourself sort of thing. And I filter out all the bad things, which is good. And I also... twice a year, I have a complete detox where I go to Norfolk to visit family, and we've got no internet. There's very little TV and radio stuff up there, and my mobile phone doesn't work.
Great.
So it's really nice.
Heaven.
The feeling of actually...
But I can't do that, and I appreciate you telling me to calm down and put it down and walk away, but I can't do that. This is the thing, I can't do that. For me, it has to be... complete abstinence, and that has to be enforced by not being able to access it on my phone, And at some point, and I did look at this at the weekend, and it's possible, but it's tricky, and at some point, that abstinence may also stretch to me blocking Twitter and Facebook on my laptop, and then when I get a computer, but it may stretch that because, I just need to do a little bit more calibration on how much it helps the show. Does it help the show? I don't like Twitter. I don't like it. I think it's 85% bad.
I think I like watching the Periscope and the YouTube. I actually like watching like behind the scenes of what you two do because I'm a behind the scenes radio and TV guy. But I think you just ought to use it from a laptop at home. Get a phone that only does text and talk, maybe, and use that for work.
Do you know I did? Remember, Catherine, at Three Counties for about 8 months, I had a Nokia, the old
I know,
Nokia.
I remember you saying about that.
It was great, and then it just fell apart because I absolutely caned it. But I tell you what was annoying about that is it took flipping ages to compose a text, and you could only have 20 texts stored in the phone. But no, because I like the other things on my iPhone. I like the fact that my kids can play Pokemon. I like the fact that it's got a map. I use it as my sat nav. I like being able to get my emails on there at the moment. I like
I think
YouTube on there.
Maybe you just got to do self-control on all the rest of
Can't
it.
do it.
Just use the essential parts of the phone,
Yeah.
and then just save it for when you get to work.
Yeah.
I only use the internet when I'm at home in the morning.
Yeah.
Bit of dinner time.
Not one out in the morning, not one out after you've eaten.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah, good lad.
And when I get home in the evening, because I don't watch TV, I only listen to radio. So I tend to use that for the interaction, and then when the computer goes off and I go to bed, I've got nothing, and I go to sleep, and the internet will time to come on at 7 in the morning type thing. So because
the internet is timed to come on at 7 in the morning.
I've got
is that happy
timer
time?
on my router, it switches the Wi-Fi off at midnight. So
How do you do? Hang on a minute. That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, well, it depends on your way of life. It was just you have to go into the router's home hub router setting.
Oh, well, I'm not going to do that. Mark, listen, thank you very much. I appreciate the tips. Very kind of you. Darren, then George, then Andre. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Can I recommend something that shouldn't be funny, but is really, really, really funny? I've been putting off watching it for a while because I thought, oh, this ain't going to be great. I was laughing out loud. On Netflix, the Martin Short, Steve Martin special. Oh, man, it is funny. And it's mainly Martin Short that's working it. Steve Martin's quite laid back in it. It is so funny. It's a two-man show, and there's a great bit where it's 10 minutes of just them slagging each other off. Steve Martin, great line from Steve Martin. You know, one of the great things about touring with Marty Short? No paparazzi. And it's just that. It's 10 minutes of them just going back and forth, you know, kind of digging each other. And it's so... there's a bit where they're singing a song, and that Steve Martin has written, and so Martin Short is reading it, and he's singing to Steve Martin, "You are my comedy hero," and Steve Martin goes, "Let's count your awards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0," and it's just, it's so good, and they're so funny. I mean, Steve Martin Short is 67 in it. I've always liked him. His autobiography is a great read, and Steve Martin's got to be in his 70s. And it's just delicious. It's on Netflix. It is laughing out loud, funny. I really, really enjoyed it. Let's go to Darren. Good evening, Darren.
How you doing, Ian?
I'm all right, thank you, Daz.
Okay, hi, Catherine, as well.
That's the niceties out of the way. Let's get down to the meat and two veg.
Okay. Let's do this. I was just thinking about Martin Short there. You brought a thing back to me when you remember he was in Inner Space.
That's a good film, man. That's a great film.
That was class,
yeah.
Man. That was some good acting in that. But see, after that, to be honest with you, I don't think he'd really done much.
He didn't really do. I think he did that and the Three Amigos.
Yeah, he done one as well called with Nick. He was in the one with Nick Nolte, and it was an ex-bank robber or something like that.
Wasn't he?
And also Father of the Bride.
Father of the Bride.
He was Franck.
But he's not. He didn't really do. He did about those 4 or 5 films, and then he didn't do many more.
That was Comedy Genius. But listen, what I want to talk to you about is a couple of things, and it's actually kind of a couple of funny things actually.
Okay.
Not really for me. One, this is the kind of like last 2 weeks that I've kind of had. One, I blew up my dad's car. He gave me his car. He basically had the car for like 10 years. He gave me it. And I drove it, and I blew the turbo on it, and it was going to cost $2,500 to get it fixed. So basically, we had to scrap it.
Oh mate!
And then get this one. This is before I come to the main bit that I want to talk about. I ended up with my flat infested with bed bugs.
Oh no!
Darren.
So,
how did they get in? Did you get an old mattress or something?
Apparently, they said to me, was I on holiday? I mean, I buy a lot of second-hand books off of Amazon. I do not know how they get in.
Whoa. Hang on, stop the clock.
Okay.
You can get bed bugs from second-hand books off Amazon?
Well, that's what he said. I mean, he said that they can come in many different forms. But let me tell you this, Ian. I mean, I collect books, and I had to throw out everything, all my books, my DVDs, my clothes. I'm talking about, I had to throw out my full flat.
No, mate!
Yeah, it was horrendous, man. But
it's all right. One more. No more of those, please.
Okay.
Yep.
It was like.
I can understand your emotion.
It was like three guys turned up with these kind of like atomic bomb-proof suits on, man, and they came in and they blasted the place, man.
I bet.
And I just got a new bed. They took the new bed away. Apparently, it was infested. Oh my God, it was crazy, man. It was like everywhere, but apparently they got everything. And they're coming back to double check. They come back.
And did they? Because bed bugs, what they do? If I got this right, bed bugs live in the bed or under the mattress, and then they come out at night and they suck your blood.
Mate, that's. I mean, I get like the guy who came was like he must have been like a connoisseur of bed bugs because he knew everything about them and how they worked and what they done, and he basically told me wherever I go, they go.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in my couches and they were everywhere, man.
I'm itching because of the thought of that, and also because he said couches.
Why?
Couches is weird.
Couches?
No, what?
Did you say couches?
Yeah, like like a couch, and your.
But how many couches have you got? One.
I've got two.
Okay, so couches.
Yeah,
okay.
two seaters. So basically, they were in the suite and stuff like that, and they had to cut open the suite and then spray inside.
No, Daddy! Sam's having a fit out there. Sam, you're young. You haven't lived, mate. You're bed bugs and moths. You wait. It's coming.
Let me tell you this, right? But listen, he said to me it was going on. I mean, I only recognised it like when I started to get bitten. That was only about a week ago. He said this must have been going on for a year. So it was crazy, but I'm glad that I got it sorted. But listen, what I wanted to really talk to you about, and what was one of the things that was really kind of that I really want to talk about is because I think it's serious and it's something I want to do as well.
Yeah,
is I keep on looking at Facebook and these people with the fabulous lifestyles on Instagram, with your friends, and I wonder if it really is that way, like people only post the best stuff.
No,
they never post when they've got an infestation of bed bugs.
But Darren, you know the answer to that question. No, their life isn't that fabulous.
I know, but the thing about it is, I mean, when people post this stuff, I mean, see when you're in a bad place, right? And I've been in a bad place at points. It can make your mood 100 times worse, man.
Right.
You suddenly start comparing yourself to these people with, lifestyles or whatever that they portray on these social media sites. Because you know why? Do you know why? I've actually done with these, I've done this kind of stuff. I've actually posted stuff of me having a great life, and my life's an absolute falling apart when about me.
Yeah.
And I've posted, this, I'm going on holiday and my life's alright and my life's perfect, but really, it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you were posting those pictures of lovely summer holiday and airports and things, but your life sucked.
Well, I did at that particular
time. Yeah. Well, I think that majority of other people are doing that, and they're also then scanning through Instagram, going, "Well, hang on, this picture only got 60 likes, but his picture got 100 likes. What am I doing wrong?"
Yeah.
I think because Instagram is a mystery to me, and I'm on there, and I was on there before I went in the jungle with 300 followers. I came out, I had 50,000 followers. I don't really understand it, right? But it is, everybody is comparing their lives. People are only posting, people are posting pictures of these perfect meals, but what they're not posting is the fact that they're probably arguing with their partner over the meal, or that they can't actually afford that perfect meal. Or
I don't think anyone who's having a really good time in life thinks, right, I need to show this to a load of strangers. If you're having a really good time, you're engrossed in it.
I mean, what? Sorry, I'm just interrupting there.
That's right.
But why do they do it? I mean, it's like basically everybody. It's like everybody's always trying to be better than the next. It's always like a never ending competition about to see who's who's got the better car or who's got the. I mean, it's
all right, Darren. We got to let you go because that's two. We got that one as well, didn't we, Darren? Listen. Appreciate it, but two, we've got to let you go. Those are the rules of the station, mate. Give us a call again. You're not banned or anything like that. Apologise to the people on YouTube, the bad language and all of that. 03444991000.
But we got the gist of what he's trying to say.
Yeah, it was the F word.
The reason people do that is the reason people have always done that. People have always shown off.
Yeah.
You know, no one who's truly happy needs anyone else's approval.
Can I read you a terrible story?
Go on.
Kind of ties in. Can't wait to get Matt Hagen, because this all ties in with him. Breast enlargement adverts during Love Island are fueling a crisis in young people's mental health, the boss of the NHS said. Breast enlargement adverts during Love Island, where everyone's got massive, beautiful boobs, gorgeous, perfect bums, that just the most perfect waistlines, the perfect cheekbones, all perfect.
Here's the other thing. The guys that stand out are the ones who otherwise would be really, really good-looking fellas, but their tans aren't quite as deep as the rest of them. They're not quite as muscular. Do you know what I mean? We were talking about the that poor doctor who is the brightest one in the lot, you know, and he's trying to kind of muck in with people who I don't think he's got that much in common with. But he's bright pink rather than having a deep tan, you know, like a normal person. Yeah. And he's actually got a really good body, but he's not as buff as the rest of the blokes. It's all like comparison.
Love
all the time.
Island is Instagram in 60-minute live action form, and the fact that they would put so people will be watching this young. I watch it. And I don't want to look all beefed up like them, but it does make me feel fat. Mm-hmm. I have issues around my weight at the moment and stuff, and I just can't seem to shift it. And I do watch them, and I look down at my gut and my moobs poking out of my T-shirt, and I think, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I ought to be 22 and look like that. But
we never look like that when we were 22.
No, we never
because
did.
They don't look like that either.
But then young women watching it and going, I wish my boobs were like that.
I wish my lips were bigger.
I wish my arse looked like. I wish. And then they're putting breast enlargement adverts, plastic surgery adverts, transform breast surgery, do it for you. In that show, that seems, listen, I know Love Island isn't for me, although I enjoyed it a bit tonight, but that seems that to me is the same as having, and I don't know if it is this year, but having the World Cup sponsored by McDonald's and Coke. Mm-hmm. The Olympics 2012 was sponsored. Two of the big sponsors were McDonald's and Coke. This thing that was supposed to inspire our youth and people of all ages to get fit and to take part in sports, whether it's team or solo, to all this. And it's sponsored by McDonald's and Coke, two very, very delicious products. I love a Mackie D's, I love a Coke, but they ain't good for you. However they might try and sell it, they ain't good for you. That's not the kind of stuff you want to be eating when you're playing, netball or something.
Yeah, the placement is cynical. I think
it feels the same as this, putting a breast advert in.
I thought that look was going out of fashion anyway, that hyper, the boobs aren't as ridiculous. I mean, flipping it. Do you remember the Pamela Anderson style bolt-ons that we used to crave in the 1990s where it was like someone had stuck two baps on there? Yeah. You could see them all rounding at the top. And I mean, at least that seems to have dissipated a little bit. They are a bit more natural, but flipping it. I mean, those girls are gorgeous anyway.
0344 499 1000. Busy old night on the phones. We're down to George and Andre. We will come to you guys next, but after that, the phone lines are empty. The late night alternative with Iain and Kath on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio.
Good evening, Andre.
Hi, Iain. I've got 3 items on the agenda tonight.
Oh, he's got an agenda. An agenda bender.
Yeah, can we have the best of decorum, please, for these?
Sorry?
Right, the best decorum.
I haven't got their album.
Oh, okay. Right, now, the first one...
Yes,
do you know Alexis Sowell, or have heard of him?
I've heard of him, yes.
You see any young ones, and that's
Dr. Martins, boots.
Yeah. I'll keep tropical fish in my underpants.
Yay!
Right, that right, but I know it's funny, it's a classic, isn't it?
Yeah, well.
I'll keep tropical fish in my underpants.
There we go.
But that's the first item.
Hello, John, got a new motor?
Yeah, the second one.
That was the first item.
Yeah, that was the first item.
I called it an item, but...
I thought it was funny.
Okay.
How can someone keep tropical fish in their underpants?
Well, that's the gag. Yes.
Right, but the next one is my lap is not on at the moment, but it might be on later. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Right, so there's scope there for a bit of singing. Yeah.
Scope.
The third item. Yeah.
Guys, you've got. Hang on a minute, guys. You've got to be watching on YouTube tonight because Kath's face. She's really on air. She's sounding very friendly and charming, but she hates everybody that's called in tonight. You can see it on her face.
Kath, by the way. Smile, it don't cost nothing. Right,
yours.
The third one, I'm joining Shaz. I think the world's flat.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks very much for calling, Andre. Let's go to George. Good evening, George.
Good evening, Ian.
Sorry to keep you waiting so long. It went from having no calls to having shed loads of calls.
No, I was fourth in the queue originally, but...
we mix and match as I feel the show needs to go.
Good.
It's not. It's the queuing system is not a queue. It's me and Catherine. We use all of you like colours on our palette and the picture that we are painting.
Well, I hope it's been worth waiting for.
Well, let's find out, big boy.
Our last call is still echoing in my mind. You ended it by saying I was talking nonsense.
Well,
exactly what nonsense is it that you...
I don't remember what we talked about. What did we talk about?
I was talking about us all being actors in a play.
Oh, yeah, that was nonsense, yeah.
Why is that nonsense?
Well, because you think we are controlled by other forces.
No, I don't think it. I've been made aware of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's nonsense. But George, I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm being controlled to say it. This part has been written many millions of years ago. I'm just playing my part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I still don't understand why you think it's nonsense.
You'll have to ask the scriptwriter.
Talking about script writing, I scribed a little lyric that the Wonder Party band is going to be the Wonder Party band anthem.
Yes.
And it's got 59 words in it.
Let's hear it.
And I'm just wondering if there's any listeners who are into music and playing music. Maybe they'd put their music to these 59 words.
I'll tell you what then, if you recite it, we have some very talented people listening. Dear listener, George is going to recite the lyrics. If you would like to turn this into a musical piece, then you can. Put your blank cassettes in, tape this, record it, do a musical backing, and then email it to me, ian@ianlee.com. George, away you go.
It's called Our Play. Our play is written, produced, directed, and dated. Everything is relative, and we are all related. Very soon, the scene shall change. We'll be woken up to rearrange. A world of wonders is ours to make. So come on, for heaven's sake. Let's tick together. Let's mark what's right. Let's tick together. Let's spark the light. That's it.
Okay, well, let's see what our musical geniuses out there can come up with, Catherine.
Maybe we'll come up with an Iain Lee Wonder Party band.
But it's very, very...
It's only 11 days to go to the official launch of the Wonder Party.
That's a short time to put a band together.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's only 59 words.
Yeah.
It depends what kind of effect you want to make.
Yes, that's true. True that.
Well, we're looking for a world of wonders.
Yeah, well.
All thanks to the Iain Lee and Cass. And
it's got nothing to do with me.
Shut up.
The late night alternative.
There you go. You see. There you go. What did you get up to at the weekend, George? Anything exciting?
Not really. I got involved with people who are occupying a building in Tottenham opposite the police station.
Oh,
in the High Street.
When you say got involved with them, what did you do? Take them some reefer?
No, got a band together there. It's the Let's Stick Together Wonder Party Band.
Of course it is.
Led by an old connection of mine called Captain Riz, who stood in a couple of elections for me in the past.
Yep.
And he's part of the building, and they're marching to court tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock because they're in danger of losing the building. They've been there for 7 months. So if you're in Tottenham, 9 o'clock,
I'll be in bed.
From the police station, the march to the courthouse, wherever that is, could make news tomorrow.
Could do.
But not as good, not as big news as the possible Iain Lee's Wonder Party band.
Here's the thing: the news aren't interested in me anymore since the owl attack. I think they've gone off me.
No, you're going to be making big news soon. I have no doubt about that whatsoever.
See, George, you weren't talking nonsense tonight.
Oh, thank you.
It's nice to talk to you, mate. Thank you very much. 0344 499 1000. Tim says, I'm guessing Dennis is dead.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, no, Dennis is an old guy, 92, 93, used to call us a lot. We took him to see 50 Shades Grey. We've not heard from him for ages.
No.
How would we go about finding out? Would Dealey know?
Possibly. I'll message Dealey.
Message Dealey.
What time is it? He'll be up.
Of course he will. He's a geezer, isn't he?
He'll be reading his Guinness Book of Hot Hits.
Dealey's a guy we used to work with.
Reading it since 1985.
He's brilliant. He's very funny, and he's a broadcasting machine. You would give that man a portable, recorder, digital, not cassette, and you'd say, Justin, we need a vox pop in 20 minutes on whether people have seen aliens or believe in aliens or not, and he would come back with an interview with someone he'd met on the street who not only believed in them but had been abducted and been anally probed by them. He was that good. Sometimes I think he might have told people what to say. I don't want to cast aspersions on him. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000 is the phone number. What have we talked about so far, Catalina Boy?
So far, we've talked about foreskins at length.
Oh, by the way, my penis is very, very brown. Oof. I was looking at it a lot this weekend after the conversations last week, and it's very brown. Anyway, continue.
Thanks for the update.
There we go.
God. We've also talked about Hereditary without spoiling it.
Yeah, now I know you wanted to see that film with me because you're a pussy. But
no one else comes to the pictures with me.
No, it's a great film.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It is a great film. It really is.
Great film.
Really is. It's a dark movie. It reminded me of something. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Is it something else I've not seen?
Probably. Probably. Oh my God. I tell you what I want to watch. The next film I want to watch is the...
We're supposed to be going to see a film this week.
Next week. I don't know if I'm going to like it. It's a film where this guy's kid goes missing, but it's all done on, like, Snapchat and WhatsApp and stuff. So it's all, like, video film. I want to see Steve Martin in the Mr. Magoo film. That's what I want to watch.
Well, you can watch that on your own.
I wonder if there's a trailer for it. Go on, you carry
on.
Oh, Magoo. Was it Magoo he played?
Didn't he do Clouseau?
He did, yeah. 2 of them. Beyonce was in one.
What for? Been done.
Oh my God. Okay. Name 3 actors that have played Clouseau. Oh, yeah. Now we're going to get you in movies, in actual movies.
Okay.
3
Sellers.
I tell you what. Hang on a minute.
Martin, and
yeah, go on.
Hercule Poirot.
Right, now you're being an idiot. How do you spell Clouseau? Because I think there might have even been a 4th.
Cluseau.
CL. How do you spell Clouseau? CLEA.
No.
CL.
Let me write it down.
Clue. CLEU.
No. CLOU.
CLOU.
SEAU.
Right.
Clouseau.
SEAU. So you're just. I think there's a 4th one. Oh God, loads of people have played.
Yeah,
it.
Look.
Oh, you can't Google it.
I had to look up Clouseau.
Alan Arkin was the other one.
Yeah, Roger Moore.
Yeah, but not quite. Didn't that guy? There was. Oh no, it was Son of the Pink Panther. Son of the Pink Panther.
I used to think those films were funny.
Robert Benigni. The first ones are funny, man.
But I used to find the inspector, no, not the inspector, the commissioner with the twitch terrifying.
I tell you the one that's funny is the second one from 1964, A Shot in the Dark, and that's the one where he goes. That's before they got a bit bloated. The ones in the 70s, law of diminishing returns. They're funny, but A Shot in the Dark is the one where he goes like an old country house, and he puts on like this armoured glove with like a mace on it, and he can't get it off, and
he's just bashing everything up.
And then he holds it behind his back, and he stood in front of a fire, and so it heats up. Oh, that is a great film. We should watch that together.
Which was the one where he goes to the fairground, and there's a woman, and she's got massive boobs, and two little like knives come out.
Oh, I don't know.
That's one that stood in my
mind. The 70s ones are okay, but they're a little bit too. But A Shot in the Dark is a great film because it's quite subtle. In the 70s, he went full on.
Silly.
Idiot. Evening, Simon.
Good evening. How are we?
Good, thank you, mate. What you got for us?
Oh, just a couple of random bits of rubbish, really.
Oh, you sell it so well.
Yeah, I'm not feeling very good.
Oh. What's going on?
The global joke earlier on was hilarious, by the way.
It's been out there for a while. Roger reminded me of it, but I would have remembered it myself, guys. So actually, I take back that credit I gave to Roger because he's a cheat on Overwatch. Yes.
It was good. And the other thing was Andre.
Yeah.
If I was to put a face to a voice, the irony of it is that it would look like Alexei Sale.
I've met Andre. He
looks more like Dave Spikey, doesn't he?
He does look like Dave Spikey.
Oh,
yeah, but he's quite bloated because of all the booze. And ruddy. He's ruddy.
He is funny.
Well, let's not get carried away.
So look, I'm having a few bad days, and
what's going on, man?
I'm at a stage where I don't want to bring the show down, but I don't normally talk about my mental health. But
let's do it.
Well, I started off on Thursday or Friday. And I dropped my mobile phone in the bath.
Always. Did you put it in a bowl of rice immediately after?
Yeah,
Didn't work.
Fortunately, I've got a donor phone. I managed to cut and paste bits and pieces and get one working. But it's just that because the one I was using wasn't, you set them up as you want them to be, and if they're not right, then it bugs you, And so I had to battle all weekend with a substandard phone. That bugged me, which does add weight to your Facebook and Twitter argument because it's true.
Yeah.
I also use it for business as well, so God knows how much work I've missed out on. But this heat is really killing me at night.
Yeah.
And Saturday I woke up with toothache, so I had to go and have that all sorted out. Not that they did anything; they just gave me some antibiotics. So. So I've had all that to contend with as well, and now I'm just at a stage now where I've got loads of little bits and pieces I've got to do, and I just can't be bothered. I can't face anything, and I'm in a bit of a pickle, really.
Thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate that, Simon, because I know we normally have light-hearted jollies, and so it's good to know that you feel you can come and talk some of the darker stuff. Right, well, don't worry about the phone, because the phone's a pain in the arse, but it can be sorted.
Oh, it's all right now.
Beautiful. Fine.
That's sorted.
Fine. And I realise that me saying don't worry about something does not stop one worrying about something, so I'll try not to say that again. All of the other bits and pieces you got to do, can you write a list of them?
Yeah, I can do.
I find lists personally really helpful because what I do is I think, right, I've got to speak to my solicitor about the house. I've got to speak to the other solicitor about the divorce. Oh God, I've got to get that thing for my kids. Oh, I'm supposed to have written that article. And they all in my head, they all just swim around and grow.
It becomes like a cloud. You just know it's a big knotty mess.
So if I sit down and just write down everything I've got to do, and it could be a long list or it might not be as long as I think, but I write down everything, and then I've got it there, and I look at it, and then I can prioritise. Then I compare a big one up, like, I don't know, write a 1,000-word article, which I haven't got to do, but I'm using that. Write a 1,000-word article. I compare that up with a small one, like, I've got to go and buy a comic for my kids, you know. And so you're not got all the big ones sat there together, because that makes a long old day.
And also, you're not sitting there, and what I do, and I know I've got loads of stuff to do, and you'd say, as you say, it all sort of ends up in this big tangly cloud in my head. I spend a lot of time trying to remember what everything is, like going through in my head over and over and over again. Get it down. It's like it's out of that little bit of it is out of your head.
And also, if you get the list, what I do, and I can't sleep sometimes, and I will let you talk, Simon, I promise, is the night before, I'll be in bed, right, and I will write down everything I think I have to do the next day. And when I get up in the morning and I look at that list, I then focus on one thing at a time. Instead of doing that scattergun approach, which I tend to do, I focus on one thing at a time. And the satisfaction of being able to pick up your pen and draw a line through it, or a tick by it, or a little star, or whatever it is great.
But also, a lot of the stuff that you think about at the night, when you look at it on a list in the morning, you go, do you know what? I don't really need to do that. I don't need to do it today. It's not something that's urgent. Or sometimes you don't need to do it at all. It's just stuff that's been going round and round.
I don't want to wheel on your bonfire, because you're absolutely right what you're saying. But the crazy thing is that on my phone I have a whiteboard, which I keep all my lists and everything on. And even though the phone is now recovered, the one app that's not working.
Right. Well, what you don't? Well, that's a bollocks app. You don't need. That's a stupid app. You don't need it. I'm sure it's a bit of paper and a pen.
Yeah. I see, because you know what you're saying about the thrill you get when you draw a line through something.
Yeah.
I get that when I get to delete it off the whiteboard.
Okay, but the whiteboard isn't there. This is that anxiety that I'm feeling around not having Twitter. It's around electronic things that make us feel a connection. You don't need that app. You do not need that app. You need a pen and a paper.
I'm scared. I'm scared not for myself, because it's not something that's really going to happen to me, but for people like yourselves and Catherine and my sister, my brothers, people with young children now, I fear for what the future's going to hold, because even in this short time since the birth of the smartphone, the difference it's made to life, and I really am so glad that I'm not born now, because I don't like the way things are going.
Well,
I really don't.
You don't have to go along with any of it. I'm not.
No, but you do. You get
I'm not.
sucked in,
Tell you what.
don't you?
No. My daughter is asking for a smartphone. She ain't getting one.
You get sucked in, but then you have to
You've got to edit it.
Suck yourself off. No, hang on. You've got to.
Oh, baby.
There we go.
That could help.
I used to be able to when I was a teenager, as I've told Catherine. I'll try and show you later, but I
It's
don't.
all right. No, I can.
I'll show you. I'll show you on air after the news.
No, it's fine.
God. But the thing I'm finding with Twitter, and I'm going to be honest, I've got Twitter open during the show and I'm looking at it, and I don't know how good that is, but we'll see. Is that you can step away from it? You can step away from it. You can shape your future and the way you interact with technology. You don't need a whiteboard app. It's something that it's someone has made up a thing for something you don't need. You got pen and paper. You got the notebook on your phone. I take notes on my phone. You know, if I've got an idea for the show, I'll just jot it down.
Well, it's the same thing. It's just that it's on a widget rather than have to go into an app.
Isn't it interesting that it sounds like you are using the loss of this whiteboard app to stop you from facing all of the other things you've got to do?
No, I know what I've got to do. I just really can't be. I think I'm at that stage. I don't normally. My mental health is normally very successfully managed.
Then don't do it. What happens if you don't do it?
Oh, nothing.
Right, well, don't do them then. Don't do them then.
No, I know, but I just like to have things done. I like to be organised, and it bugs me. I don't like loose ends.
Let go. Let go.
Before I go, can I say something a bit controversial without?
Is it about sending all Muslims to the Isle of Wight and bombing it?
No, I'm ringing LBC for that one.
Oh, okay, all right, good, okay,
right.
Yeah.
What?
Because that's what we're doing in the
next hour. If you got to cut me off, then that's fine. I completely understand, right?
Okay, go on. Where's this going?
I love this radio station.
Yeah.
And I listen to it all day long, right?
Uh-oh.
I cannot understand why your company, whoever your bosses may be, allow one of your presenters to treat this radio station with such contempt that they can't be bothered to come in after time. And I've just found out that that person is now on 2 weeks holiday, for goodness sake.
You're speaking, of course, about Eamon Stay-at-Homes.
I am,
A name that
I am. I
Catherine-
think it's terrible.
Well, here's the thing. I have no idea. I've joked about it with my boss because it's noticeable, and Drive Time is the second biggest show on the station.
Yeah.
And I like Eamon a lot. I don't know him very well, but he's always, apart from once, always been very, very friendly to me and very, very helpful to me. Okay, so I'm putting that out there that I'm a fan of Eamon's. But
and
yes,
he does seem like a really nice guy.
Oh, he's lovely. He's lovely. But yes, I mentioned it to my boss a while ago, and he said, well, look, we knew from the start that Eamon had a lot of TV commitments, and that was... I can't say too much about it, because I don't know the ins and outs, and I don't want to slag off a colleague, because I do like the bloke, and I don't know the decisions. But yes, I understand what you mean. For me, this is the greatest job in the world, and if Kath knows that if I have to take a night off sick... I always call it in at the last possible moment because I hope there'll be some miraculous cure. And when I book a holiday, it's, when I went to New York, right, I booked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Monday. Instead of booking a whole week off, I booked 4 nights off because I don't like being away from this job because this to me is the best job in the world,
Yeah.
Well, and we still feel like we're building something.
Yeah, we are. We're building something. So,
and I still like that about my job. And the thing is, you guys... predominantly you guys make it known on air about how passionate you are about this station and how you do want it to build and build and build. And then, like you said, I think that he comes across as a really nice guy. But if I had a driver working for me that treated my business with the contempt that he...
Well, I'm going to move on now, because contempt is a hard word, and, and I appreciate that, Simon, and I hope you feel that you got a fair crack of the whip and we're allowed to say your piece. I think contempt is we have no idea what is going on there, we have no idea what the deal is, what the situation is.
No, and his arrangement with the boss is between those two.
Is between them. I hope you feel that, we talked about it as much as we could, because I don't really want to... slag off another presenter here, apart from Julia Hartley-Brewer, I think is terrible. But I do have a lot of time for Eamon. I think he's a nice bloke, and as I say, he's always been very, very helpful to me. And who knows? I wish I had such a good contract where I could go off and do lots of TV work and stuff. But we're doing this. Sheila, stay there. We will come to you in a bit. 03444991000 is the telephone number. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Take a far-out trip into the twilight zone of late-night radio with Iain.
Unmissable late-night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
So I was in Windsor today. It was hot, and I went to one of the 2 train stations. I'm not going to say which, just to sit down for a bit because I was waiting for my kids to finish school and I didn't want to sit outside, so I sat in the shade and sat 1 seat away from this old guy, and I was reading, and he started talking to me. I was like, oh Jesus, I'll start this guy. And he had a North American accent, and he was asking. He was talking about the weather. There's a cool breeze here. I said, yeah, it's very cool. And we got chatting, and basically he was from Canada. He was on a cruise, and they'd got to the UK yesterday, and they'd seen London, and they'd come out to see Windsor. And in fact, I met 2 tourists. I met an American in the car park who didn't have change for the car park, so I gave him £1. He said, let me get... I said, whoa, no, hey, listen, welcome to Windsor, you enjoy your trip. I looked over at the castle, I saw the Royal Standard, I said, she's in. And I walked off. So I was talking to this guy, and he was... And then his wife came over, and she said, I got the tickets. And he said, I'll be over in a bit. And then his children came over, they were in their 40s. This is how old this guy was, right? And they were chatting, and I was chatting to this guy about Windsor and about kids and life and stuff. And he said, that's my wife. We've been married 59 years. And I said, wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. And I went back to reading. I thought, do you know what? As someone whose marriage has not lasted that long, I'm going to try and get some advice from this elder. So I turned to him, I put the book down. I said, look, so I hope you don't think this is rude. Can I ask you, how have you managed to stay together for 59 years? Right? And this is a great bit of advice for everybody. He said, well, we both love the Lord. I went, right, okay, yeah. You're nuts. Okay, got it right. And then he said some nice things. But that was the first thing. But I tell you, he said a really nice thing, right? Been married 59 years, so they're in their 70s. And he said, every time I see her, I get that flutter. Isn't that
my
amazing?
parents are like that.
Isn't that what a beautiful... Every time I see her, I still get that flutter, and he pointed to his chest.
Yeah. My mum and dad are like that.
Incredible.
I saw him weekend before last. We went over to my parents' house. We took all the kids, and my sister was there with her husband and her children. And they're all playing in the back garden. And there was just this moment, you know, like you said earlier on when you were with your youngest today and you could see him eating those blueberries and he looked all beautiful and his hair just slightly too long but just gorgeous, and you kind of just took that moment in. There was a moment a couple of weeks ago when we were having this impromptu get-together. Kids had been playing and they all sort of went into the house, and I think I was sitting at one end of the garden and my dad had been sitting at the other end of the garden because he was near the kids and they were all talking to him and stuff. He likes to sort of preside over them.
Of course he does.
You know, they climb all over him. But for a moment, they'd all gone. And my mum went to the end of the garden to sort of collect glasses and things that had been over there. And my dad just like put his arm out and she sat on his knee. And he gave her a kiss. And I was like, my God, they've been married since they were 21.
That's amazing.
That's what everyone wants, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, for that moment, she's his girlfriend, you know?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And who knows what's gone on? You know, my mum and dad have always seemed really solid to me, but who knows what goes on?
Do you think your dad's experimented with men?
No, not at all. But what I mean
just asking.
I'm sure it's not always been easy.
So
my dad used to work nights, and you know there were ships that crossed in the night sometimes.
Yeah.
And I remember my mum sitting up waiting for him to come home from work 1, 2 in the morning or whatever. And she's kind of put herself out to make sure that she was always around for him when he wanted. You know, she hasn't really got other mates apart from my dad.
Yeah.
She's got a couple, but not many. So there's been sort of sacrifices and stuff, but flipping it, what?
Can I ask
so
you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think your dad would like to experiment with men? Because
do you fancy him?
I think he's hot. And I'm single now, and I'm thinking, well,
now's the time.
If I'm going to put something in my mouth, I might as well do it now.
Oh my God, no, that's my dad.
If I'm going to put someone's dad in my mouth, it might as well be someone I know.
Your best friends. No, because that wouldn't be weird for us, would it?
Hey, Kath, I've got to tell you, before we do the show tonight,
I'm your new dad. Anyway.
That's lovely.
Thanks for ruining that romantic moment.
No, I'm so glad I asked this guy, because I was doing that thing. I'm trying to read, you know, but I thought, actually, this guy's 59 years. He's a visitor to these shores. I'm going to see if I can pick his brains and see where I've gone wrong. And I thought it was just beautiful. Every time I see her, I still get that flutter. I thought, oh yeah, dude, that'll do. 0344 499 1000. Good evening, Sheila.
Hi, Ian.
I'm just going to do my flies up. Sorry.
Oh my God.
It was an erotic story. Yes, Sheila.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Hiya.
Hello there.
Probably a theme actually, because I normally phone you when I'm like the last caller said, sort of feeling a bit up, but today I'm not feeling so good. So just thought wanted to call you and talk about social media.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm not really into it. Haven't really been involved with social media. So I'm a bit distracted because there's a real echo on the phone.
Is it? Hang on a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click you. Sometimes I click you here, and then I click you there. Has the echo gone?
Yes, it has.
There we go.
No, it's back.
Oh! Do you want to... All right, hang on a minute. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to try and call you back and see if we can get rid of it.
Thanks.
Because you won't believe who's calling in now. Don't look. You'll see it in a second. Let's get Sheila back first, and then we'll go to that caller. It's a surprise. A blast from the past. I think we sent up the bat signal.
Hello?
Hello, is Sheila there, please?
Yes, I'm Sheila.
Hello, Sheila. It's Sam here. I'm just going to put you back on the air.
Thank you very much.
Okay, just hold the line. Right, I think we've got Sheila back. Good evening, Sheila.
Hello.
Is the echo there?
It's a little bit better, thank you.
I think it's your phone.
It probably is.
It might actually be our crap network. Go on. What were you saying?
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about social media because I've stayed away from it and don't really like it. I suffer with depression like you do as well. I've always thought it's best to stay off it. So obviously I'm on Facebook like most people are, but I just kind of like things, people, but first pictures of their babies barking or something or whatever, just like. But I don't put anything on it. I'm really careful about it, but I've been working sort of on a work project probably for 18 months or so now, and now I have to promote it, have to go on to apparently Twitter to do stuff. So I've started to do it, and I just feel really uncomfortable about it. And the reason I thought I'd phone you is because I know that you've had the weekend off Twitter.
Yep.
And I've heard bad things about it, and I don't feel comfortable. And I've had a big argument with my best friend tonight because I said to him, can you do my Twitter? And he wants to do it for me because he knows I'm rubbish at it, because I put things on that aren't funny or interesting. And he is his work is social media.
Yeah.
And we had a massive row, to be honest, today about it, because he ended up shouting at me because he wanted me to put this on and that on, and I just the whole evening I just feel really wound up. And
but this second a minute, normally the arguments are on Twitter, not the arguments behind the scenes of Twitter. Gosh,
that's exactly it. That's it. I'm not someone.
No,
I will not do that in public. I'm actually, although I know I phone you, but I don't put anything about myself on social media. I really try not to. It's not my thing, and I know when I've got depression, it's also not a thing to do because you're going to get negative comments.
So did you just start today putting stuff about this project on Twitter?
I signed up to Twitter, I think, a few months ago, but it was under a different name. I didn't really do anything with it.
Yeah.
But I've had to put this project on it.
Let me ask you why, and then you reveal as much or as little about the project as you want. But why have you had to put it on Twitter?
Because I need to market it with the person I'm working with and get some customers.
Right. How many customers?
Which was fine. I have been putting stuff on. I've got 10 followers so far, which is rubbish, I know.
Yeah.
But and so I've asked I said I don't like doing it. I asked my friend who used to work for the government doing social media stuff, and he's really good. And I said I'd rather you just do it. So, but I'd like you to sort of put things ask me first. And he said the first thing you need to do is take off the generic photo you've got and put a photo of yourself on, and that's he had a big row about, because I said I really don't feel comfortable doing that.
And you don't have to do anything like that you don't want to. If you don't want to put a picture of yourself online, then you don't have to, and no one can make you do that.
No, and that's what I kept saying. I want to think about it. I don't feel right doing that. And it's not, I'm not ashamed of myself, but I just hear about people, the abuse they get and stuff, and I don't want to put myself up for that. But he said he will deal with the whole account. I won't have to look at it. If anything offensive comes in, he'll deal with it.
But why does he, why, I can see so many flaws in this guy's argument, but have you put the air conditioning up?
No.
It's got
freezing in here.
It's got very warm, Catherine. I've just noticed a bead of sweat going down my back.
I haven't touched it.
Outrageous. We will have words. I'm sorry about that, Sheila.
You're lucky to have air conditioning.
Yeah, I'm not lucky to have Catherine conditioning. Why does he think having a picture of you on there will help?
He did do it for a job, to be honest, and he said to me, you need to have things that are personal so people get interested. And I do. I know he's right.
Well, here's the thing. You got 10 followers. You ain't going to sell nothing with 10. You're not going to sell anything with 10 followers.
That's exactly what he's saying. He said you put your picture on there. The people that are in that market are going to see that picture and like it, and you're going to get more. And I know he's right about it, but I just haven't felt comfortable, and I don't know, just because you were talking about it today.
If you feel uncomfortable, if you feel uncomfortable, if anything in your workplace makes you feel uncomfortable, then you do not have to do it. And if you've been very wary of social media, putting a picture of yourself on Twitter, to some people will seem like no big deal at all, but it obviously is a big deal for you. And I think we have kind of, I think it is actually a big deal for all of us, but we've just become so used to it. If it makes you uncomfortable, then you do not have to do it. You do not have to do it.
At the same time, if it's going to get me more followers and maybe...
I don't think it will. I don't think it will.
The thing is, this is what I wanted to say to Catherine about, actually. It's, my friend said to me, obviously, he's done really well on Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really well. And he put a joke on, the same joke on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter the other day. And he got loads of people on Facebook and Instagram liking it. But Twitter, I think there were like 3. And it was the same joke, But he seems to think that now it is a very commercial thing, and you need to get an audience.
I don't think Twitter sells out. Jimmy Carr, I've got a friend of mine, Paul Garner, writes for Jimmy Carr. And a couple of years ago, Jimmy Carr told him that when he tweets his tour dates, he doesn't notice any significant increase in ticket sales, right? So I don't think Twitter sells stuff. And I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do an experiment for the rest of the week, okay, on this show. We're not going to tweet anything during the show. We're still going to Periscope and YouTube it, but I'm going to turn the Periscope connection off with Twitter, so it won't tweet it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to tweet any topics. I'm not going to tweet the phone numbers. I'm not going to tweet anything, right, for the rest of the week, okay? Now, it's a slightly false experiment. It won't prove... we may get more phone calls, we may get less. I don't know. It won't tell us how many people are listening. But I really wonder if us tweeting stuff actually generates...
I don't think it does.
Content.
I don't think it does, because to be honest, I only... Obviously, I'm not a big example because I'm not into social media, but
No.
I do... The people that are on my thing are the people that I like. So I'll actively look for the people I like and follow them.
Yeah.
And I must say, the one thing it did make me do is watch your YouTube thing.
Oh, yeah.
The trial the other night.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
normally I just listen.
Yeah.
And I had some work to do, so I thought I can't really listen. So I could listen to the radio, but I put it on the computer and I watched you both, and it was amazing. I really liked doing that. It felt very different watching on YouTube, doing the live trial.
Well, the YouTube's there all the time, every night, so people can watch it.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, yeah, youtube.com/Iain Lee.
that.
We do a live feed every single night that Matthew moderates for us, and it's a nice, friendly environment. So you'd be welcome to come along and join and watch in there, or you can watch them afterwards if you've missed the show.
That.
So it gets recorded and stays up. So is this an ongoing situation for you, Sheila, that's going to carry on throughout the week?
Yes, it's going to be a thing for... Yes, I have to be on Twitter, and I was on Twitter. I was perfectly comfortable, but like I said, it was a generic photo, and the argument today was about putting a photo of myself on, and this is what I want to speak to, just mention to Catherine, the sort of feminism. I don't want to be just... He does those stuff, and he's completely a feminist, but he said, these days, he really is, right old lefty, and he's just... But the thing is, you cannot get any followers on any social media if you're nobody without putting in a photo.
I don't know how true that is. I think it's really interesting.
So you're a woman, or...
Let me say one thing, then you come in. I just think it's really interesting. It's a bloke telling you to put a picture of yourself on to sell yourself.
No, but honestly, he's like you, Iain. He's a real kind, soft person. He's like my best friend.
Right.
He's nothing like what I'm making him sound like.
No.
It's not that. He knows exactly how I feel, but he's like, we need to get some interest in this website.
Here's what I think he's driving at, and I may be wrong. When I'm on Twitter, if someone speaks to me on Twitter, I always prefer if it's someone with a real name and a real picture. Otherwise, it could be anyone.
That's exactly it.
And I don't take them as seriously. And also, you know what it's like when you're on Twitter or anywhere really, where you can get I don't know, you just can't, there's no connection I've not got a connection to a brand. I wouldn't follow a brand, but I might follow the person behind it. So, for example, let me just pull a name out of the air. Jo Malone, if she was still running her perfume, she's not doing them anymore. She does her own thing now. But I'm interested in her. I'm not necessarily interested in following a brand where they're just going to send me loads of adverts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's
I think that's what he is getting at.
And that's what he's saying. And there are people on YouTube going, oh, it's about sex sells. No, it isn't. I never flash my chest or legs, or I don't do those sort of selfies. No. I don't do selfies generally. I'll put a picture with my face on it, one that I'm generally happy with. So it generally doesn't really look like me. No, it does. But I don't do it to tantalise or anything. It's just so you can go, right, yeah, this is me, and this is what I'm saying. And I'll kind of mix. I try not to just tweet stuff about the show. I'll tweet other things, but generally it's nothing massively personal. I don't bang on about my personal life on there. No one knows who I'm married to. No one knows who my children are. I try not to be too smug on there either. Like, oh, look at this delicious dinner I'm having. Mostly because it's just egg and chips.
I follow you both, actually, and I do like the stuff you say, so I do understand.
Do you know what I mean? But you do what you feel comfortable with.
Sheila, listen, Sheila, I've got to move on. Let us know.
No problem.
Let us know how it goes throughout the week. Thank you very much indeed. I'm just being told that the flipping app and the website are down, so no one can listen to us apart from DAB. Who has a DAB? Sweet Jesus. Thank you, Shirley. I'm sorry to do it so quickly. I'm really, we just lost that person who was going to be next, and I'm just seeing if Sam's going to be able to get them back. Let's take a quick break while unless are you speaking to them now? Okay.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, I don't know if there's any point in us carrying on with the show, because apparently the website is down, the app is down, it was Ken in Newcastle who was calling in, but then he bottled it, which is great, because I really cannot stand that gentleman. But so there's only 177 people listening to the show right now, and those are the people on YouTube.
Well, unless you've got DABers.
Well, unless you've got DAB, but I mean, that's patchy. Well, I feel kind of deflated. We were doing so well, and then, now no sod can listen to us. Oh, well. If you are listening, 03444991000 now. For those of you in the know, Gemma Collins, the lady, has got a book out, Catherine. I believe you've managed to blag a free copy of the book.
Thanks very much to the people at Headline Hachette.
Thank you, Headline Hachette.
For sending me a copy. I've got this fantastic pink book.
Yeah. What's it called?
It's called Gemma Collins, The GC, How to Be a Diva.
So she's known She's known as the GC, is she?
By herself, yes. She talks about herself as the GC.
Okay, she speaks in the third person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's always good, right?
Okay, give us a
Do you want the intro?
Of course I do.
So, girls, you're right, darlings.
Oh.
If you bought this book, ordered it online, borrowed it from a library, if they still exist, or won it in a raffle, then congratulations. You've taken the first steps to a world where everything is fabulous.
Okay, she's a good writer. I like her style.
So good. Men will fall at your feet, riches will be bestowed on you, and you will have the biggest, bounciest hair ever, and you'll get what you want, whatever that is. You'll be respected, adored, envied, and some people might get a little bit scared of you. But don't worry, it will be because of their insecurities and not because you've turned ugly or anything.
Does it mention falling through holes in floors?
Not yet.
Okay.
This is just the introduction. She's not going to go holes for a good old while.
Well.
I would expect.
Well.
You've got to warm them up first.
Yeah.
You will have more fun than you ever thought possible. Your life will be filled with drama, but not the depressing type of drama like the stuff you see on EastEnders.
She never wrote this.
It will be the glamorous sort of drama like on Desperate Housewives.
Oh.
She never watched that. She's too young.
Oh.
The reason for all of this is because you're about to become a diva, and that is a good thing, believe me.
Yes, girlfriends.
My name is Gemma Collins, but I'm more commonly known as the GC.
Yeah.
One of the nation's diva icons.
Okay.
But then you already know that because you bought this book, for which I salute you, because you didn't have to buy it. There were lots of other choices in the bookshop or on Amazon or wherever. So let me reassure you that your hard-earned money has been well spent. You've made an investment in your future.
Mm.
If you were weighing up whether to buy this or some chick-lit novel, you're in luck, because I promise you the next few hundred pages will be much more interesting than that Sophie Kinsella you were considering.
So far, this is all about how fabulous the book is going to be.
So good.
Okay.
Let's face it, those kinds of books are all the same. Heroine is unfulfilled, heroine goes on journey, heroine finds man, tragedy happens, heroine finds herself, man saves her, they all live happily ever after. This book is different because you're the heroine.
Oh, it's like a choose-your-own-adventure book.
And the journey you're about to embark on is a journey of self-discovery.
Oh.
If Jackie Collins, rest in peace, did self-help, I know.
Respect to the bitch.
Then this is what she would have written. In fact, thanks to my psychic ability, more of that later, I'm channeling Jackie as I type.
Right.
Literally, there is Brentwood glamour dripping off my shellac onto the keys of my laptop as I write this.
Wowzers. I don't know how much of this is actually from her own fingers.
Should we delve in? We'll go further.
Go on.
Let's plough in.
Go on, plough in. Elizabeth, cat's in, Riz. Stay there, we'll come to you in a bit.
All right, here we go. Do you want to... let's look at some of her inspirations.
Okay, go on.
Hang on. Here we go. Right, so she's gonna. Oh my, she really has gone. She's done quite a few chapters.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. No, let's do this bit. Right. Oh yeah, here we go. Diva Goddesses.
Diva Goddesses.
Here's a list. This is who we're supposed to aspire to.
Oh.
Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, MM, is the queen diva in my opinion.
Oh.
She's my heroine and my inspiration. I've got photographs of her up in my living room, and she's an icon.
What a classy living room. That must be the GC.
Some days I feel like I am her, reincarnated.
Well.
I would have loved to have met her. I think we would have had some great girly nights out and understood each other. I sometimes think I'm a modern-day Marilyn.
Gosh.
Misunderstood.
I would say more a Diana Dawes.
Lusted after by men. Blonde. Curvy. Marilyn had the right mix of vulnerability, determination and steel. She could play the diva role but also be shy and modest, much like myself.
There we go.
Madonna.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I had Robbie Williams posters all over my wall. I loved Take That. I lived and breathed him. Robbie was my favourite. I wanted to be with him physically.
Oh.
That boy who's now a man ticked all the boxes for me. He was wild. He was dangerous. He was this. He was that. She's actually written he was this. He was that. My best mate Vicky was into E17 and we sometimes nearly came to blows about who was better. Basically, Robbie was my teen crush and my eye candy, but my role model was always Madonna. Not only is she supremely talented and can knock out a tune, she also doesn't give a shit about what people think of her.
Flippin' heck.
And will stop at nothing to get what she wants.
Steady on.
Whether that happens to be an adopted kid from Malawi or custody of her own son from Guy Ritchie. Wow! I've not met her yet, but I know one day I will. She'll hear about me and she'll want to hang out with me.
Why does this book... I know I've met Gemma, I like Gemma, but why does this book exist?
Because we all want to be a diva.
Do we? Well, let's hang on. Let's ask Elizabeth. Elizabeth, do you want to be a diva?
Who, me? No, you must be joking.
Oh, okay. So Elizabeth doesn't want to be a diva, Catherine.
Oh, maybe she already is a diva.
Could be. Hong Kong Phooey, could be. Hello, Elizabeth. What have you got for us?
I phoned you about a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to phone to see how you're doing, how you are.
I'm all
right. Are you feeling any better?
I'm all right. You know, etsy ketsy, as the Greeks say. That means up and down. But it sounds better, etsy ketsy. I'm all right.
Yeah, that's good. No, I phoned you about a couple of weeks ago. And
how are you, Elizabeth?
Me? I've got some news to tell you.
Are you pregnant? I didn't get you pregnant on the phone, did I? Because that can happen, I think.
Damn, you knew. No, it wasn't that. No, my radio boss.
You're the lady who got loved up and felt up and all kinds of wonderful things with her boss at the radio station.
Don't cheapen it. It was romance.
How long have you been going out with him now?
We've known each other for 8 years.
Right, and the question was, how long have you been courting?
How long have we been courting? About a month and a half.
Alrighty. And what, he's going to take you away on your first holiday together to Bognor?
More like Costa del Skeg. No,
there we go.
All right. Yeah, on the bumper cars and, yeah, great fun, surely. But no, he took me away over the weekend. We went down to Canterbury.
Beautiful.
Mini break.
There we go. This is great.
We did. We went to see Darren Brown.
Yeah.
And
like Darren, he's good.
Yeah, Darren's lovely.
Yeah.
And he proposed to me.
He proposed to you?
Well, you don't know if she said yes yet.
Oh, sorry, I played the Billy Idol too early. Sorry, go on. I played Billy Idol too early. Go on. What did you say?
And I said yes.
Nice day for a white wedding.
Here we go, Elizabeth. This is for you.
Nice day, white wedding.
There we go. Well, that's lovely. I think I've got it queued up now. So,
nice day for a white wedding.
So that's good. So, when are you getting married?
Possibly either by the end of this year, and if not into next year.
Oh, you know what? Next year will be good. Do you know why?
Why?
It's a nice day for a white wedding.
What, next year? That doesn't work at all.
Yeah, it is. It's a good day for it. It's a good day for a white wedding. Catherine looks disgusted with my attempt at humour.
Well, just pick a date. It wasn't hard. Just go, what about June the 14th? Why? Because it's a...
nice day for a white wedding.
Don't go, what about next year? Why? Because it's a...
Oh, okay.
I mean, that doesn't work.
Okay. Well, Okay, well, let's get our predictions in. I think it will last 6 months.
You're getting the predictions in already.
Catherine, do you want a sweepstake on this?
I think it will last. Well, they've known each other 8 years.
Hang on, they might be getting married early next year, which is...
For a white wedding.
Early next year is not a day. Stop it. I think it's going to be all right.
Just all right.
All right.
Hang on. You think Elizabeth's wedding is going to be just all right?
No, not a wedding, a marriage.
That is flipping heck, Elizabeth. You want to hope for 6 months of pure passion, and then it ends. That's my prediction. She thinks it's going to be all right for a
nice day for a white wedding.
All right is most anyone can ask for. But anyway, good luck with that. Do you want a bridesmaid? I'll do an all right job.
We are looking for a decent photographer.
Okay, well...
I'm not decent, I'm all right. Oh.
This is what Catherine thinks your wedding is going to be. Alright? Your actual wedding. The day... Here we go.
Don't you worry, child of the night.
We'll get to the chorus.
They do go on, don't they? That's the fellow who ran over himself, so I don't really think he's a good advisor.
He was eating a jacket potato!
He wasn't. All right.
Right, now I've got it queued up. Right, okay. Here's how Catherine thinks your wedding day is going to be.
It's alright.
Yeah. So what's your fella's name, Elizabeth?
Peter.
Right. So imagine Elizabeth and Peter there. Catherine goes up. Hey, really enjoying it. How do you think the wedding's going? It's alright. It's alright. It's gonna be alright. Are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah. You don't sound convinced.
All right, then I'll say it louder. Stand back, everyone.
Hey, Peter, I'll be honest. I think Catherine was right. It's not going well. Hey, Elizabeth, what are you talking about? Alright, things gonna be alright. Alright, alright. It's really alright.
Anyway, so, all right's good.
But then, unfortunately, unfortunately, this may take a while because I've not heard this song for a long time.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, no.
6 months later, just bear with me, this will take a while. Go make yourselves a cup of tea. Here we go. This could take a while. Seriously, stop laughing because you won't be able to keep it up. I haven't heard this song for years.
Oh dear. Oh my God.
There we go. 6 months later. 6 months later. This is the end.
Oh, bloody hell.
You're so horrible.
It's not my marriage that's collapsed, well mine has.
No, mum's all right.
My only
Friend in the end. So get ready for it. That's inevitable.
I mean, in retrospect, my prediction looks good now, doesn't it?
Well, the signs at the wedding when it was just all right, and it was really all right, weren't great. They weren't great. Elizabeth, you are a very good sport, and Catherine is a proper meanie. And we wish you the very, very best of luck.
It's nothing compared to what Peter did. This was our very first date.
What did Peter do?
Hang on. Thursday.
Was it all right?
I'll quickly tell you.
Was it the end?
There's a YouTube video. If you look up St Barnabas Hospice.
Yes.
Because I do a radio show.
Okay, ours is better.
Yeah,
although it's broadcasting to less people right now because of the website.
Thanks very much for the vote of confidence there, Ian.
Yes.
Thank you. Love you too.
Yeah.
We did a charity event. I did the ice bucket challenge.
Oh, yeah.
We raised £175, which wasn't too bad considering we set it up about 2-3 months ago.
Yeah.
And there was me thinking, it's just going to be a bucket of water, fine. No, I received 11 buckets. I received 6 buckets of gunge and 5 buckets of water. 1 bucket was bad enough. I was wrecked. Wow. And that was our first date.
That was the date?
That was the date.
He took you on a date and poured ice over you?
Gunge and water, yeah.
Oh, man alive. Well, I've got...
And I don't know how I still love
I've got
him.
some advice for you. Let it go, let it go. Okay, killed that joke there. All right, Elizabeth, thank you very much. Best of luck.
Take care.
And I can't come on busy then.
Is it because it's frozen because of the ice bucket? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was tenuous. I was running out.
It's a bit, yeah.
Okay, but still did it. So that's you got to be. Don't be such a cow. It's Katsin Riz.
Hi there.
Hello there, Katsin.
Hi, Ian. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, cool.
How are you?
I'm ringing up, I'm very well. I'm ringing up because I believe you spoke to maybe Rainbow George a little earlier on in the show.
I spoke to maybe Rainbow George a little bit earlier on in the show, yes.
Yeah, so I'm just ringing up on behalf of what he basically said about the community centre in Tottenham and what's happening tomorrow, and maybe letting people in London know what's going on.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so basically there's a community centre in Tottenham called Tea Chances.
Oh, this is the okay, yes, I'm with you now. Go on, go on.
You with me now?
I'm with you now.
Okay, cool. So this is just referring to people that tomorrow, like, there's quite a big day for the people of Tottenham, their community centre, which was given to them in the 16th century by some people of literature and translators of different languages into English from Bibles and stuff like that. Yeah. And it was given to the people of Tottenham, basically, and it was being given by some trustees.
Don't tell me they want to knock it down and build luxury apartments.
Basically, that's the way they want to do it. But it's our building.
Yeah.
And it's been given to us, and we're really not going to try and not allow this to happen this time. So, go on.
No, I was going to ask, so you've occupied it?
Well, it's the community workers have sort of occupied it, and it's sort of one of these weird, when is a squat, not a squat, when people are allowed to be in the building, but the trustees don't want them to be in the building.
Okay.
So it's that sort of, it is a really weird predicament, but tomorrow we're going to Edmonton County Court to try and get this squatting order thrown out, basically, so they have to deal with the things correctly and not just say there's a bunch of squatters in there, which there's not.
Is this the St Anne's site?
The St Anne's, not really. So it's actually, no, it's just Tea Chances opposite, basically, Tottenham Police Station. Okay. It's on its own bit of land. And it's a beautiful building, really, that's been allowed to run down. So basically, they say there's no community people in there. It's beyond disrepair. The usual way they get rid of community centres.
Yeah.
But they've got a bit of a match this time because there's a group of community workers in the community, so they've really got their act together, hopefully. And, we're fighting it. So we just want people to know about this building, that it was left for the people of Tottenham. It's not a council building. No. It's a self-funding charity building, which has a license for music and entertainment, so it can finance its own well-being and help other people to,
but is it... Right, listen, let me play devil's advocate for a second, just I want to get the full picture of the story. Is it, you're saying it's in a state of disrepair?
It's becoming like that.
So how
They've
how
run it
come if
down.
it's self-funding, what has it been allowed to get into a state of disrepair so that it can be sold
gross
on?
mismanagement.
Right.
Yes, gross mismanagement by the trustees.
Okay. Well, I've got to say, because I've been involved in arguments with trustees before, that they're not here
there you
to.
go.
Exactly. That they're not here to defend themselves. So I'm sure they would object to that. But I have to say that. And so, what kind of stuff would normally go on in there then, when it was up and running and working perfectly?
Well, when it was up and running perfectly, there should be markets in there. There should be bands playing in the evening. It's basically for creative art, photographers. Everything should be and could be going on in there. Through the day, stuff for the children, for older teenagers. It's basically a mansion house with a lot of rooms and a lot of space for every sort of community event to happen there. I mean, for example, now we've been in there. We got jam nights. We got Caribbean Sundays all day. The mum and papas, they come and have Caribbean food and bring their grandchildren.
Not the 60s pop group.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that'll be cool.
No, not 60s pop group.
Right, yeah.
And we got workshops going, and it's just
even so. Hang on, you've got all this stuff going on, even though.
Exactly.
It's sort of been taken over by the builders, or even though it's not supposed to be functioning.
Exactly.
Wow.
We've carried on functioning to prove that it can function, and it's not beyond this sort of disrepair, and the community are using it and do want to use it. And we're going to carry on. So we're doing our best to hold on to it. We need more support, obviously, for anything like this, especially if we win tomorrow, then we're going to need.
So what is tomorrow? What exactly is tomorrow then? You're going to court?
Well, tomorrow is basically the trustees put in believed that we were squatting it and said that there's squatters in the building, so they got a squatting order. They used the injunction. It's a really weird situation. 9 o'clock in the morning, about 2 weeks ago, the security came in, took everybody out of the building. Within 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the security guards decided they didn't want to take care of this community building and make it secure, so they walked away. The community workers walked back in. In the few hours that we went back into the building, we went to the courts, to the high courts, to get an injunction on their court order to go back to court and start all over again. So tomorrow, basically, it's the building trying to prove to the court that they're not squatting.
Hey, listen, man, I think that we need more places like this. I think the places where people can go and be encouraged to be artistic and make noises and paint and take pictures, and kids can go and interact with artistic people, and anywhere you can eat jerk chicken. I think that's got to be a winner, man. And listen, I don't know the full story, but I suspect, and maybe you suspect too, that you're fighting a losing battle, because these things never end up. These things never end up well for and I'm going to say this, and please don't be offended, the little people. Do you know what I mean by that?
I do know what you mean. Well, we're going to try and change that and show people that there is a chance. And basically, Rainbow George and the Rainbow Alliance said, let's all stick together and try and
don't put all your eggs in the Rainbow George basket. But listen,
oh no, he's a good man. He's a good warrior, and we need more people like that. If people need to know more, they can go to savetottenham399.com.
All right, wicked. Can you can you give us a call maybe later in the week and let us know how it goes?
I certainly can do that.
Nice one, man. Best of luck.
Okay. And to all your listeners, cool. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, man. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Cool.
Community. It's a dying thing. I'm moving to a tiny village. I can't wait to get involved in the community. I'm down the road from a spooky church. I'm going to go to that church. And people that we don't know the full story. I don't know, what was going on with the trustees. It just reminds me of Penn School when, the trustees, but people that want to try and make their community better, I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that at all. He seems like a decent bloke,
Note of caution, one side of the story.
Oh, no, exactly. But that with libraries closing down and with, I don't say youth centres because I don't really like the phrase youth, but just places that you can go to. Again, Matt Haig mentions libraries in the book. Places where you can go to for free.
Yeah.
Where there's no profit to be made. Leaves a lot of people scratching their heads. But a room full of books. How do we make money out of that? You can't really. But it's just there to enrich society.
Yeah. And libraries are really important, right? You're really lucky if you're able to have a room full of books. Kathleen Moran talks about how her upbringing was in libraries. Her education was in libraries. She'd go and lose herself in there for hours on end. Her parents couldn't afford to keep buying her books, but that's where she went. She was homeschooled. That's where she got a lot of her education from. For those people, and for you, actually, at certain points in your life, you'll need a library.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to be just hoping that it's still around by the time you go.
Go in. And also, you're not... I disagree with this. You don't have to be quiet in libraries anymore.
No, not anymore.
There's no shush. There's no shush. There's all havoc going on. When we had the kids, when they were little, we'd go to the library all the time because it's a free place to go and just chill out, pick up books. They'd often have a storyteller or a puppet show or, make something. It was great. We go to the library all the time.
I used to take my eldest to this thing called Music Makers, and it was the only place where she was absolutely silent for a whole hour.
Wow.
Didn't want to join in. And then we'd go to Tesco's round the corner afterwards, and she'd be singing the songs at the top of her lungs all the way around Tesco. So she was getting something out of it, just wasn't necessarily wanting to conform.
I wish them the best of luck. Again, we've only heard half the story, so we don't know. But there's just, the places where people and kids, and not just kids, old people my age, people where they can go for free. And, meet people, see different things, taste different things. There's hardly any of these at all, and it's heartbreaking. Right, the Late Night Alternative Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio.
0344. I don't need to give the number out. We've got 2 calls, and we've only got a few minutes left before Paul Ross comes on at 1. Let's go to Matt. Good evening, Matt.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Matt. What you got for us?
Good. A couple of things. Wanted to throw my hat in the ring as Elizabeth and Peter's wedding photographer. I think I'd be all right.
Oh, people...
Would you be all right, though?
I think I'd be all right.
Good.
Yeah.
Look at you, people angling for work. I don't know when it is, but I think I'm busy then.
No, it's a tough gig, though, so, I'll give it a go.
I'll do it for £500.
I'll do it for $499,950.
Well, you're an idiot, because I'll do it for $450.
$425.
You can do it then.
But you're busy.
No, I'll do it for...
What are you bartering him down for?
I'll be free, because I want him to lose money.
Incredible.
Yes,
incredible.
It is incredible.
£750 all in.
Oh, jeez, that's a bit... come on, man. Cash in hand?
No, go through the books.
Bearing in mind it's only going to last 6 months, it's barely worth it, is it?
Yeah.
Well, exactly, but then you can get the second one for $500. So that was the just thought I'd chance my arm,
Well, let's see it. See if we can get you some paid work.
That would be lovely. I haven't had some for a little while. I'm only all right. The other thing was I wanted to say, because no one's listening, I wanted to impart a really quite horrendously embarrassing thing that happened to me on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I had my kids at the weekend, and we went to Gulliver's Kingdom, which is a fun park for smaller-ish children.
I've seen the signs for this on the motorway.
Is this Milton Keynes?
No, this was over in Matlock Bath.
Right, yeah, there's 2 of them.
I've seen an advert for it on the telly when I've been staying in a region.
They're growing, I think they're expanding, but the one in Matlock Bath...
Well, they don't want to grow too big because they're supposed to be small. I know that's only Lilliput. I know there was a land where there were big people as well, okay, guys? But please, just indulge me this one Lilliputian.
Began with B, didn't it, the big place?
Ballsack.
Yeah.
No.
Growing too big is where the story comes from.
Oh, no.
Yes. I've taken the kids there quite a few times, and, it's very much designed for, kind of sub-adolescent kind of age kids. It's not like Alton Towers.
Yeah.
But we go on the pirate ship is one of their favourites.
The one does it swing?
Yeah.
Flipping hate those.
On Sunday, I was just with my youngest because my eldest had gone off to a scout thing. And so we got in the queue for the pirate ship. We got on, we sat down. On Saturday, we'd been on together, and it's been great. But we sat down on the Sunday, and the bar came down to hold us in, and it wouldn't fit.
Oh.
It wouldn't. It shut, but it was so painful pushing into me.
What, in your gut or your knees?
Yeah, in my gut.
Oh, yeah. matey.
I know. And I was absolutely mortified, and I had to say, look, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get off.
Oh.
And so I had to go and sort of do the walk of shame, left my little youngest, Max, who's, 8, on there on his own, and then watched him go backwards and forwards on this thing that he loves with a face like he'd just been told he had a week to live.
Right, we laughed there a little bit, and actually I feel a bit bad for laughing because it's a slight body shaming thing. How did that make you feel?
Appalling.
Yeah,
Awful.
I bet it did.
One of the lowest feelings I've ever had, and I had to really pull myself out of it to try and make the rest of the day fun.
Yeah, I'm sorry I laughed. That was a bit mean. I didn't.
No, not at all. It is funny. It is funny.
Well, no, it is a bit mean to have laughed. Yeah, I bet it did. Are you going to do anything? Are you going to try and lose some weight? Is the question I'm skirting
right now,
around.
as of yesterday, got back. The kids had left a load of crisps and stuff that they have when they're with me over the weekend. They all went straight in the bin. So there's no temptation from them.
Yeah.
Completely cutting out all alcohol from now on, because I normally have a couple of glasses of wine of an evening.
Yeah.
Which is an improvement from where I was a while ago. But that's going to go straight in the bin, and exercising more, because I've realised that I think I've kind of taken a view that I don't care if I die sort of recently because of just the depression, which I've been to see the doctor about, and I'm getting back on top of that.
All right.
And so I think it's all been a combination, but that Sunday thing, that just look on poor little Max's face.
Matt, listen, I have to be slightly cold and move on, just because Grandpa Ross has come in and he can't work out how to use the studio. He sat there trying to get the microphone.
Although I have to say, I've been to Gulliver's Land. I took my daughters there years ago. They loved it.
Really?
Yeah, Matlock's a beautiful part of the world. Matlock's lovely.
Matt, give us a call tomorrow and we'll have a proper chat, man. But
right.
I feel for you, brother.
Thanks, man. Have a good rest of the night.
Thank you very much indeed. We've only got a minute
What
left.
a lovely call.
Yeah, then it's your responsibility.
On the show today, then.
Yes.
A Harry Potter-style cloak of invisibility that actually works.
Oh, we mentioned this yesterday.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
May not work for human beings yet, but we're going to have unpick that one. And also the American Cheese Mountain, which weighs 650 million kilograms.
Let me at it. Let me at it,
So
man.
all that and more on the show. And also we're covering things up Wimbledon and the usual old tosh politics and
Yes.
football. So a
Yes.
bit of that, but a bit of
All right.
everything on the show today.
All right, thank you, Paul. Paul will be on at 1. We've got a minute left. Andre, you've got a minute. It's yours.
Me?
Yes, are you Andre?
Right, yeah, listen, song.
You've got a minute.
Yeah, here it goes.
Okay.
Nice and sleazy, yeah?
Okay.
Let's get the music.
You've got 40 seconds.
Alright, plug in. Here it goes. We use our hand for guidance, like the children of a preacher, like a dry tree seeking water, or a daughter. Nice and sleazy does it. Face of Brunel. Oh, Jean-Jacques, he's French and all. Do it. Nice and sleazy. Does it every time. Have I got time for a bit more? Sleazy, nice and sleazy. Does it every time.